All right. So we're picking up where we left off last time. This is session 15 of this book. We played 14 previous sessions. So we're going to try to do a recap. Who remembers what happened last time we played, which was, I guess, over a month ago? Anybody remember?
I do.
Okay, go ahead. What do you remember?
All right, so we started out. We went to Valor's Fastness and spoke with the guard to let them know that that the expeditionary force got really messed up, and that only 4 survivors made it. The sergeant was blown away. Asked to meet with Zane, and he was gonna. Then he came and met with us at the manor, where Vors was digging graves and Bob was digging graves, but with his hammer. And, the takeaway from that was that Zane agrees that Oppian's being super unreasonable, and that he's going to hinder us as little as possible, but he can't just stand by idly if there's a lot of bloodshed happening. So we started asking him about how to get in to the fastness, and he said that there's an open rotunda at the top of the fastness, and that was really the only place that he could think of. But other than that, he's like, it's a fortress. People aren't supposed to get in. And then, so we went out and met with one patrol. They, after reading the decree from the town council, went back to Valor's Fastness and didn't really give us any fuss when we told them that enforcing their curfew would be illegal. So we went looking for another patrol because we knew that we didn't have another copy of the decree. And we came upon them when Eric, Roy, and Thomas were getting roughed up by them, just they were vandalizing the shop of some Gloria's Reclamation immigrant.
Yeah.
So
He was a smith who moved here specifically because he wanted to help the Glorious Reclamation. He wanted to make weapons for the Knights of the Glorious Reclamation.
Well, yeah, now his house is messed up. And we killed just about everyone. I think there were, 2 survivors, maybe, from the patrol?
I think there are 4. So,
there are 4?
yeah, you have 1 squire and 3 militia volunteers, which are just regular citizens of Cantaria that, have volunteered to pick up a spear or guisarme, whatever it is, and kind of go around with the soldiers. So you have 1 actual, knight within the order, and a handful of just regular people.
He's not a knight yet. He's a squire.
Squire, fair enough. He's not a knight. Very valid point. He does have levels of paladin though, but he's not an official knight. You also have 4 prisoners from the camp, 2 sessions ago. You killed 24 people, but you managed to save 4 people over there too. And 2 sessions ago, whatever, you brought them out to the town council meeting and basically had them confirm everything Nero and the scribe Anselm. Yeah. So they basically confirmed everything that happened, and you have them locked up in the Temple of Torag, because it used to be to Asmodeus, so they have rooms to lock people up, because that's something that happens a lot in the Asmodean faith. So, last time we left off, you guys had basically decided that you were going to put these militia volunteers and stuff into the Temple of Torag with them. Is that still accurate?
Yes.
Okay. What do you want to do with the Vandals?
Enlist them because they're capable.
There's a stink that Nero would make. Where would an authority figure be at this time of night for the town? Would that be the Temple of Torag? Where would that be?
The Temple of Torag, I'm not sure how much of an authority figure they would be anymore, because now that Calcira is missing, it's just a bunch of acolytes kind of doing their best to maintain the temple.
Right,
So
right.
They have some sway in town, but I don't know if you consider them an authority. Right now, the town is kind of headless, because you've deposed the governor, and you chose not to reinstate a new one during the last town council meeting. You basically decided the council will decide things from now on until such a time as we figure out what the hell we're doing. So there are very few authority figures in town.
We are the authority figures.
These 3 certainly look up to you, especially Eric. He's very happy to see that you guys not only confronted these Glorious Reclamation thugs that have imposed this curfew and that was crazy, but that you killed a bunch of them, and that Iwin, after everything, actually took the paint and added graffiti of her own to the house. So they very much look up to you guys, yeah.
So Nero would make us think about how, granted the lawlessness of the other men who tried to detain you is certainly more than yours, this is a town that will be based on law and order. In light of the fact that you helped us break up a greater lawlessness, we're going to look the other way this time, but realize that next time I catch you pulling that, you're going to pull a fine or hard labor.
And you're being sincere there. You're not like trying to. You're not like no hidden context. You're just being sincere. Like don't be vandals again.
No,
okay.
No vandalism. I don't care. I don't care whether you're pro Thrune. I don't care if you're anti Thrune. I care that you're pro Cantaria.
Okay, so toss me a diplomacy check. Roy and Thomas, they both seem apologetic, and again, they do look up to you, and you are one of the biggest authority figures in town. You and the rest of the party, mostly. So those two fall in line, but Eric takes a little convincing, so go ahead and roll yourself a diplomacy. Yeah, so you convince him. You can tell that he looked a little upset, because especially after what Iwin did, he actually looks at the gnome several times as you're saying this. Like, are you serious right now? Your gnome just did the same thing. But you the way you say it, you convince him. He nods and says, I am a pro Cantaria. I've been here all my life, and I just want what's best for this city, and I think it should return to the way things were.
And I understand that, and I think we're going to get to a point where it's going to be more what it was, but even better. I think we're going to make progress, but thuggishness, breaking things down. If you want to help, I could use a man like you on the militia. I could use a man like you to help keep people safe in the streets.
He seems confused. Is there another militia other than the one that the Glorious Reclamation is conscripted?
We're going to have to do something if that militia is in opposition to the law of the town.
Yeah, so especially considering your diplomacy role there, Eric, he's still injured a bit. Like, you healed him up, and you can tell he's still got scratches on him, so he kind of dusts himself off and tries to stand up straight. And he said, it'd be my honor to volunteer for such a militia.
Excellent. Find good men. No lawlessness. But present yourself to the council. Present yourself as people who are pro-Cantaria, people who want to help.
And he nods and says, I'll do so starting in the morning. I'll find like-minded people, and we'll build something together.
Excellent.
What's a typical bail for, like if somebody's gonna get fined and jailed? Like, if you're gonna bail them out, what would the cost be?
I honestly don't know the answer to that. Well, who are you trying to do this to? Who are you trying to get out?
Well, no one yet, but
because basically no one.
I'm pretty sure Voris would be familiar with bail prices.
Yeah, I assume that it varies by the severity of the crime, but I can't imagine it being too much because again, like a gold is a ton of money to a common person. So like someone picked up for vandalism, it maybe would be like a couple of silver or something like that. Even that would be like a lot of money to them. So not a whole lot to an adventurer, unless they were like convicted of murder or something like that, or something more serious.
Which I mean, we're adventurers, so possible.
Well, yeah, exactly.
All right, so like once Nero's like out of earshot, I would pull Eric aside and just let him know, like, hey, like, try to keep out of trouble, but if push comes to shove, like, I'll bail you out.
And he looks a little confused, like, I'm not sure the Glorious Reclamation is accepting bail for people. Like, who else would take me?
I just kind of glance over at Nero. I was like, if he gets it.
Oh, he nods and he's very thankful. Like, he says, thank you. And I don't think he knows your name, and you usually keep your hood up. Have you taken your hood down for this conversation?
No, it's probably still up.
Okay. So a hooded, shadowy figure says, I'll pay your bail, kid. And he looks up and he nods at you, appreciative. What's Bob up to? You just desecrated a corpse, and then Nero summoned an earth elemental to hide it in the cobblestones.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bob is probably just standing next to Nero this whole time.
Looking imposing. What are you? How are you acting around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm acting imposed. Well, if he failed that diplomacy check, I was going to intimidate, but
Iwan has full hit points. Do you want to do that on Iwan, Nero?
So
Who's that?
that's
Oh,
what
that's
that was.
Zara. I'm sorry, Zara. Yeah. Saw the flash of purple. I thought that was Iwan.
Vorus
the
climbs
gnome
down
has-
successfully.
The gnome has pink hair, not purple.
Fair enough.
Correct.
All right, yeah. So the Vandals, Roy and Thomas are apt to scurry home now. Eric he lingers a bit longer and he talks to you as long as you'll let him. But as soon as it looks like you guys have other business to do, he splits and he'll make good on his promise tomorrow to kind of rally some more militia volunteers for the other side of the battle.
Let's gather up these bodies and get them with the rest.
All right, you've got a wagon full of corpses somewhere. Where did you leave it?
I don't know, but let's gather some bodies and get to moving them.
Okay. We'll just say they're near the little Osquid, but not directly at it, because wagons of corpses aren't great for business.
It'd probably be near the Temple of Torag.
I would
Okay.
imagine, yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, I think we specifically didn't leave it by the Esquid.
Yeah. Lord Donna's not into that.
Yeah, she doesn't like.
Not
wagons.
to.
I'm not sure which one's the Temple of Torag, but hey, this is the map.
Number 1? Or 12? It's-
12 is towers for sure.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I can find it out though.
1's the Smith, 9's the Manor, 11's the Swedish Drop.
Probably 10.
Shrine of the Hammer's 10, yeah, 10.
Yep.
Yeah, so somewhere around there you have a wagon full of corpses. And you're going to bring these many corpses over there to pile onto the wagon.
Yes,
And,
in
so-
chains.
Yeah. So, and during the... Chris did a good recap, but let's see. During the chat at the fastness that you guys had, when you were trying to get Zane to come out, you did get a 6th Sword Knight to agree to take the bodies in to bury in the cemetery in the central courtyard. But he wants you to leave the wagon at the gate. Basically, the temple's not allowing people in and out right now, and they would want you to leave the wagon of corpses at the gate. And Vors noticed a large line made of stone prowling around the ramparts, but I don't think he told anybody.
I haven't had a chance to yet, but I definitely noticed that.
Okay, so what would you guys do? It's late at night because you guys waited until the patrols came out. And they don't come out until it's well after dusk. You were hanging out at the Swedish Drop porch looking for them, and you tried to follow on and you tried to act stealthy about it, but Nero rolled a 0, and he kind of just he dropped something out of his pocket or something, and the patrol turned around to engage you. You talked your way out of that one, like Chris said, but the other one you fumbled your way into a fight, and what happened happened. You saved the Vandals. So it's late at night now, and what are you guys interested in doing?
I mean, I think
We're gonna have-
basically we've got to get on record what happened, right? So
Council
my
meeting
vote
tomorrow.
would be for... Yeah, but in the meantime, it might pay to at least maybe drop by the Swedish Drop and, like, talk to some folks who are still up and just get the rumor mill going.
I'll do the official, you do the rumor milling.
That sounds good.
All right.
So we don't need to, like, go into too much detail with it, but basically wants to join her, would go to the tavern and kind of talk, do her usual thing with the people, like, we purposely nixed this curfew, and here they are, like, still trying to enforce it, like it's their usual deal, law into their own hands, and just making unilateral decisions and imposing it on us. Get a load of these guys, like that kind of, just getting them riled up about and angry.
I'm going to take you all back to the map of Cantaria while we do stuff. I'm going to dump you by the Temple of Torag, I guess. And Plotty and Houndy will hang out nearby. And I'm going to save Eric because he might matter later. Yeah, so go ahead and make a diplomacy check, Iwan. And anybody that's with you that wants to be spreading similar rumors and things like that, you can go ahead and roll a diplomacy check. See how well you do convincing the townsfolk. So I'm sorry, did you all go to the sweetest drop? Is that where everybody is at?
Yeah.
Okay.
While he's doing that, Nero would probably make a more official decree to, what's her face, Janna, and probably if our boy, the alchemist, was there as well. I don't know if he goes out drinking, but
Winton likes his liquids, but he doesn't usually frequent the tavern now.
okay. So then I'll stop by there on the way up north of the town. But he'll make an announcement to Janna, and he'll make it a little, not loud, but louder than probably an announcement of that weight should be made.
Okay. And Bob, are you also going to the Sweetest Drop Tavern?
Yes.
Zara's following you guys, so everybody's at the Sweetest Drop Tavern. So Nero, well, first off, Iwan, you did a pretty good job. So it's this kind of tavern, even though there's a curfew, like actually kind of in spite of the curfew, it's bustling even this late now. It's always been known to have kind of raucous parties into the early morning. That's kind of the way that the tavern's always been run. But now people seem to be flaunting especially Jan is kind of pumping them to do it. They're kind of flaunting the curfew, like this is bullshit. And this party's happening right outside the fastness. They can hear it. They can see all this stuff happening from their towers. And Janna wants nothing to do with this curfew. She's hated it from the moment it was announced. So you did a great job. You find a bunch of people who were already there, who were already pissed off about the Glorious Reclamation, already angry about the curfew, and you said like, hey, yeah, we just wandered the streets and we bumped into one that didn't seem to get the memo that the council voted to destroy this curfew, and another one actually started to rough up some young kids. And these rumors start bubbling around the room, and you find a lot of welcome ears. So people are getting galvanized against the Glorious Reclamation even more than they already were. And Nero, what specifically do you say in your declaration or whatever you called it?
He's basically going to give her a rundown of what happened. I let one of these patrols know the curfew's not in effect. They're completely unaware of changes in the law of the town. They've completely disregarded that in the leadership of the Glorious Reclamation. Mm-hmm. I had to give them my copy of the lawful decree, and then we ran into a second patrol that was doing the same thing, and when we tried to tell them, things went sideways, and they're just throwing their people away. I don't know why they would do such a thing. It defies logic.
And Janna nods the entire time you're saying that. Like I figured he'd do as much. If he sent his troops out to the wilderness to negate the peace treaty you negotiated, this doesn't surprise me at all. This is what the patrol's been doing. But it's good you dispersed them, though. Yes, you sent them back.
The first patrol, yes. The second patrol went to war.
What do you mean? She asks.
I mean more bodies, more prisoners.
She looks disgusted. When she hears you say more bodies, she's like, I can't believe that. I mean, these zealots, they're just following orders, and she's shaking her head. She's like, I can't believe there's been this much blood.
It's terrible.
And she just looks again disgusted. She can't believe that more people are dying. More Cantarians are dying here. Did any of the people that were stopped, were they injured or killed?
They were injured. I was able to make sure that they were all okay. I let them off with a warning because they helped us when the patrol turned on us. They helped us, so I told them that vandalism, what they were doing, isn't going to be acceptable in this town, and the next time they'll be detained and fined. But I let them off with a warning this time.
And she nods and says, you might have gotten through to those ones, but without clear leadership, without someone to follow, I think you're going to see more and more of this kind of violence and vandalism.
Do you have someone in mind?
She shakes her head. She's like, I didn't even want to be on the council the first time. They picked me because I'm popular in town, I guess. I don't know who could step up, but we need people to get back to their lives. We need to return to normalcy, and I'm not sure we can do that without a clear leader.
We need to address that tomorrow. I need to address this all. This is all spiraling out of control. Do you have any sealing wax? Any paper I could borrow? Or use, actually?
She has a little bit, yeah.
I'm going to write something to Phaedrith. I think I can at least reason with him, and I'll drop the note before I leave for the night.
She kind of scoffs when you say you can reason with Phaedrith. He's like, if you're in for an argument, I suppose maybe you can get through to him, but I've never found it very forthcoming.
He's not a pleasant man, shall we say? But if we're going to get a compact set up that's going to be lawfully bound, he's probably our best bet to do it.
She nods. He is good with facts, figures, and documents of that nature. That does sound like Phaedrith.
What do you think we do? Do we issue arrest warrants? Do we issue? I'll level with you, and he gets very quiet. I think we could get a few people into the fastness, and I think if we were able to capture Oppian, that we would be able to stop this madness.
She looks surprised when you say you can get people into the fastness. And she's like, it's a fortress. It's like the walls, all the guards. How would you get through them all to get to Oppian? Certainly, he's protected.
It's made of stone. It's made of stone. There's magic that moves stone. There's always a back way into a fortress. And Phaedrith, I've spoken to him. He doesn't have faith in the leadership. I think I could count on him to not involve himself at the fateful moment.
She kind of just brushes away the fact you brought up magic. She doesn't have a mind for magic or anything like that. She's like, I don't know anything about that. I assume you're right, but I've never seen anybody work that kind of magic here. And she says, I mean, I suppose if you can get in and you could take him alive, but the Glorious Reclamation is a military order. They're an order of knights. They're following order. I don't know that you're going to be able to get to him.
Right. Something has to be done.
And she nods and says, something does have to be done. I just want everything to go back to normal. I just want my town back.
All right, well, I'll write something up to see if I can get it to Phaedrith, and we'll go from there.
All right. Anybody doing anything else at the Sweetest Drop Tavern?
I'll just be hanging out by the end of the bar.
Yeah.
But I was a little curious about the chili situation.
Have they had chili here? I don't know if you didn't have chili at this bar, to my knowledge.
No, they've never had chili here. I'm just still curious about the
Wrong
situation.
character, sir.
I know. No, I asked for it one time and they didn't have it.
Yeah, she still does not have chili at this moment in time. But she offers you whatever other meat she has. She has mutton or something around.
I'll take porridge, whatever you got for me.
Yeah. Yeah. She has food to provide.
Bob eats. Bob hasn't eaten in a long time, I don't think. So.
That's good. Yeah. This tavern's mostly known for its drink. The food is rather boring and bland, but...
That's fine. Bob's mostly known for the hits. The RP is boring and bland.
Oh!
Hi-yo!
Everybody good?
Yep.
Okay, so you were writing something, Nero.
Nero's going to write up a missive that basically says, this has got to stop. I want to help. I want to help you, and I think you're someone that believes in what we're trying to do with the town. But this has got to stop. We've got to figure something out. And he words it in such a way that there's a lot of sort of double entendre in there. That he's basically saying like, "Come and meet me at the place we met before." Things like that, like making it so that there's. The language seems plain, but read by somebody paranoid, it would be incendiary.
Okay. Okay, and how are you getting the missive to him?
He's gonna walk it right up to the door.
All right.
Hand it to someone at the door, if there's any.
There are people at the towers at all hours, so even this late at night, and they begin shouting at you, again, as soon as they can see you. It's dark out, so it takes a little longer than before. But as soon as they can see you, they begin like barking for you to stand down, announce yourself. Who are you and what is your business here at the Fastness?
It's Nero. I have a letter for Zane.
You hear some...
Boris would have gone with him, with Scarta.
Sure. Cloaked man on the horse now. Yeah, so somebody comes down, one of the sergeants comes down, and they open the eye slit, and they will accept your letter. Okay. He just looks at you as if there's anything else.
No, that's it.
All right. So he closes the eye slit and disappears.
Wait, what happened to the patrol that came back?
He comes back, he opens the eye slit, and he says, I don't know. They went back into the fortress earlier than expected, but I don't know what became of it. I've been on watch all night.
I want you to understand, I'm on the town council. I need you to know the curfew's been called off by the town council in a lawful council meeting.
Okay, he looks at you and he nods and he says, I don't know. I have no idea what he would say.
Well, yeah, that's fine. Just clear that everything that's going on is above the board is all legal.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, he understands that, so he just walks away, shuts his little thing and walks away. All right. Anybody doing anything else for the night? Boris is staying at the Sweetest Drop. Where's everybody else staying? Uswood?
Yeah, Uswood.
Uswood.
I'll drop by Linton's shop on the way if he's there, just to let him know what happened. But
It's definitely closed, but you do believe he lives there. Yes.
Okay.
Was that for drinking or for other stuff?
Other stuff.
Well, you did great, champ. Yeah, so the rest of the party goes to the Uswood. Nero, you do stop by Linton's shop if you want, but it is closed, and you do believe he lives there.
okay,
Don't
so
bother.
he'll gently try to rouse things. Like he won't make a huge stink that people are going to come out to the street, but he'll.
Let me make a perception check for Linton, and he has a -20 because he's asleep.
Ooh, I almost crit that.
10. That's pretty good. So you're knocking on the door. Yeah, we'll say if you spend a little bit of time, he rolls really well. He rolled a 20. So yeah, he manages to wake up from his slumber as you knock quietly on his door. And yeah, what's up?
And he'll just explain in the same sort of terms what happened and how the first patrol took my decree, the second patrol decided that it was a fight, and just it's a mess. We're gonna need to do something about this.
Nah, he's wiping the sleep from his eyes, and he's in like his sleeping clothes. He's not in his normal like he's got like an alchemist thing with all these pouches and like a leather apron on and stuff like that. He's not in any of that.
Sure.
But he nods. He says, "I understand. This was bound to happen. Those patrols they had no business being on the streets like that.
No.
This isn't what the Glorious Reclamation stood for, and I don't know what this is."
Do you have anything that could help me work stone?
That's a good question. Let me see. He can make potions. Are there potions that do that?
There's like stone salve and stone shape. I don't know what stone salve does.
Let me see what stone salve does.
I'll look it up, dude.
Wondrous item costs $2,000 to make.
Oh, it's not. It's stone to flesh. Never mind.
Yeah, you don't want that.
I need stone shape. Ish.
Yeah, I don't think stone shape is an alchemisty thing. No. Yeah, so he doesn't have. He says he can make acid, but if you're doing what he's thinking about, if you're thinking about doing what he thinks you want to do with it, you would need a lot of acid.
Yeah.
So yeah, so he racks his mind. He says, "I don't think I have anything that'll help you get through walls like that."
Okay. Thank you. I'm sorry to wake you up.
Shakes his head and says, "Not at all, not at all. I'm glad to be kept abreast of what's going on in town."
All right. Well, I'll see you in the morning when the council gathers. I don't know if we'll have to name someone or what we'll have to do, but
He nods. Understood. Until tomorrow.
all right.
All right.
Okay.
All Alright, and you get back to the Little Uskwood. Loredana is already asleep. And no one has been staying at the Little Uskwood since you've been here, other than those Needlese that left a long time ago when you burnt down a prison camp. No one else has come. In general, trade to the city has been down, even through the docks. And very few people have stayed at the Little Uskwood. It's kind of like the second-rate inn in town, and there's so few new visitors coming in that almost no one is staying at the Little Uskwood other than you. No one, not even almost no one. No one other than you is staying there. So, the night passes without event, and it is the morning. And it is... Tomorrow will be Oath Day, and that is the day the market usually takes place.
Okay.
What are you guys gonna do?
Lavors would go to Linton because the angel skin should be prepped by now because it's been like a full day and a half.
Mm-hmm. That is accurate.
I'm gonna go buy as much Zerk as he's got.
Alright. Yeah, so you can go see him. I clicked an email earlier. That's great. Awesome. Yeah, so you go to see him, and he's up bright and early in the morning. His shop is open. As you're walking through town, you can tell that even fewer people are out than were before. Most people are kind of staying in their homes. Very few people are wandering the streets. A lot of shops are open, but not seeing a whole lot of business. And some people have even boarded up their stuff, like they're afraid that more violence is coming. And there is more vandalism just everywhere. Mostly pro-Thrune stuff. There's a couple of Glorious Reclamation vandalisms, or, graffiti, whatever you want to call it. But mostly it's pro-Thrune stuff all around town. And several homes or business fronts of Glorious Reclamation supporting people have been defaced or damaged. And when you go to Linton's shop, you find him there, and he is working, but nobody is perusing his goods. He says, Master Vors, what can I do for you?
I was coming to pick up the that piece that you were working on.
He's like, yes, it cured wonderfully. I had just the chemicals, just the rubs to do it. And he runs into the back to go get it. Well, doesn't really run, because he's a chubby old man, so he kind of hobbles to the back to get it. He's got a big paunch. And he comes out, and he's got it wrapped in another cloth, so you can't really see what it is. But as he hands it to you, it has the heft that you understand to be the cured angel flesh.
Cool. Thank you. And how much Zerk do you have on hand?
That's a good question. So you gave him like one sample, and he wanted to basically clone it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna hit the craft button. I don't know if it works for NPCs the way it works for PCs. So he rolled a 1, so he didn't get too many. So let's see. He gets half of this. Oh, he rolled well on that one though. So yeah, he has 4 doses of Zerk, and he says, I understand it now better than I did before, but it took me some work to get it right. And he provides you with 4 vials or whatever it is, whatever Zerk is. What form does Zerk take?
I'm pretty sure it's a plant, so like it's amazing that he's crafting it to begin with.
Yeah, it doesn't say exactly what it is. It's just a drug, an injury drug. That means you have to like cut yourself with it, right? You don't eat it or drink it or smoke it.
Oh, really?
It says drug injury. Right?
It could get in your blood, I guess, right?
Like what? But couldn't you like snort it then? What if you snort it and you bleed from your nose?
Well, that would probably work, but like I assume it works like poison because it says like the ways to ingest are like contact, ingestion, inhalation, and injury. So you have to actually. This is a bloodstream kind of drug.
This is so fitting for Bob. It's amazing.
So let's just say it's a powder that you like heat up and then inject. Let's just say that. Or snort through your bloody nose, or however you want to do it. But like it needs to be. You have to hurt yourself to use it.
So I can Vors like punch Bob in the nose so he's bleeding, and then.
Yeah, sure, and then snort it through a bloody nose. Yeah, you want to punch Bob in the face and see what happens?
I mean, if he wants me to. Right. Is he giving me a deal on this?
I think he was just doing it out of the goodness of his heart because he knows that you guys are going to win the town. He wants to be on the winning side. He wants to be in good with you guys. So he is not charging you for that because you also gave him the original sample. He's just been kind of playing with it, and he is providing this free of charge.
So when do you think you'll be able to figure out a way to mass produce this?
He says,
I already have it. I already have a distribution. I already have distribution set up in Longacre for some other drugs, but with like being right on the Sedna here, we could supply the capital pretty easily.
He nods. Says it's definitely possible if it were worth my time. Depends how much you can get for this on the street, because there's only so many hours in a day. He shrugs.
Mm-hmm. Indeed,
it's an intensive process.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that I would with 25 gold might be worth your time.
And he chuckles a bit and he says, like, potions of whatever are worth hundreds of gold. Like, he can spend his time making potions or he can make his time making drugs. And again, if you can only get 25 gold a sample, that's probably not enough for him to not make potions that day. Because he can make multiple potions in the time it takes him to refine Zerk. Even like cheap ones are 75 gold, like level 1 potions or whatever. Right? Or is that, am I wrong on that?
50, yeah, 50.
50, yeah.
50 and 150 for 300 for second level.
So like churning out Cure Light Wounds potions is just as profitable, if not more, to him.
Well, what if we were to get you some cheap labor?
He says they'd have to be skilled in alchemy, but if they were, or if they were good enough to follow directions properly, then perhaps.
All right, we'll consider it then.
He nods with a kind of knowing smile, and he says, "Master Vors, about my agents in the fastness."
Yes, Lincoln.
He says, "As I told you before, we have two. We have two inside the walls. From what I understand, the comings and goings are much more strictly regimented in the past 24 hours. Something's different. My agent says that he hasn't seen Appian in over a day and a half. And he's rumored to be in the spire at the top of the temple. But that almost no one appears to be talking directly to him, and orders are few and far between from the top. I'm not sure if my agents will be able to enter and exit the fastness freely in the coming days if they continue this level of rigidity."
Okay. Well, just have them sit tight then and keep a low profile. And if you can get word to them, in case we do encounter them, have them safely leave, so that we know that they're your men.
He nods and says, "Understood. I will make sure they know. I'll do my best to inform them."
All right. Well, anything else, Linton?
He looks around his shop as if something would tell him anything else, and he says, No, I believe that is it. I've been working hard to make you happy, Master Vors.
I'm very happy.
I'm glad to hear that.
Thank you. All right, so I'd bid him good day and head out.
All right. And he returns back to work. All right. Iwan, what are you doing today? In the morning.
It's kind of a good question. I think it would kind of depend on what others were doing. I know she wouldn't have interest in going to the but if other people are doing stuff that she could do, then she might. Otherwise, I can come up with something else. Okay. But I didn't have anything in particular I wanted to do.
Sure, we can circle back around to you. Bob, buddy, you wake up. Your buddy Vors went to go see the alchemist.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do?
Well, he wouldn't know that because we weren't even in the same inn.
Fair enough. Sorry. So you wake up at the Little Uskwood. What do you do? What does Bob do?
Bob's gonna start polishing his weapons today.
All right, that's cool. Yeah, so they had a bunch of blood and gore on them from last night, so you get that off and you start polishing them. And Cinderboss is a really awesome hammer. For the record, I'm going to drag this up near Little Usquid if you want to right-click and hit show-handed on that baby. That's what your Warhammer looks like. It's a big, like, obsidian black hammer. It's all metal. There's no wood on it at all. It glows in hellish flame as when you command it to, and it's got this imprint on it in the center. You can see there. It's like an angry bull with 4 horns, which is the symbol of Magma Lord, your god. And Magma Lord is a very powerful. I think he's a devil, not a demon, right? I'm pretty sure Moloch is a devil. Yeah. So in hell, he's like a general, basically, or like a very high-ranking military personality of hell. And this is a hammer that is sacred to him. Cinderboss. And it used to belong to Tychus Grote, the town blacksmith, who is rumored to have been killed by Oppian during the taking of Cantaria.
Alright, well, Bob's polishing it, so...
And it looks nice. Looks very nice and shiny. Like it's a big, shiny piece of obsidian. Mr. Nero, what would you like to do?
Nero would try to gather council people to do stuff.
Okay. Mytrop's on the council now, right? That's the thing that happened?
Yes.
All right. So yeah, so everybody is around. Linton is at the shop after Vors is done with him. Jenna's, getting the morning stuff set up. She doesn't really serve too many breakfasts. People don't usually go there for breakfast, but she's serving a few people. You're at the Little Usquid, so Loredana's there. And she was making breakfast assuming Bob wanted to eat, because Bob always wants to eat. Anything you want to say to Loredana specifically?
He'll give her the rundown, and he gives her a much more honest accounting than he would to other people, and basically says, this has got to stop. I'm thinking that something has to be done, that we might have to move on the holdfast. If we can get a small group of people in, I think that I might be able to convince Zane to stay out of it. Otherwise, I think we try to lure him out and place him under a short arrest so that we can root them out.
And she returns your honesty with her own candor, and you can tell she's actually a little aggravated. She says, "If you think you can do it, just do it already." And she gestures to the empty room behind you, and she says, "Tomorrow's Oath Day, and there's not a single person here at my inn. Like, this has got to stop. Like, no one's coming to town anymore. This uncertainty is bad for business."
The second item on my agenda, if we gather the council today, is about getting that port open now. This place should be filled with sailors, should be filled with people who are in town for a couple of days.
She nods. She originally objects about it. It's not just the port. Travelers from all over used to come here. And the Little Usquid, again, it looks kind of like... where is she from? Not Isgar. Where is she?
She's Nidalese.
Nidalese. Oh, she's Nidalese. Yeah, okay. Yeah, she's like, and travelers from far away, they find a touch of home here. And, like, they've just stopped coming entirely. Since the Glorious Reclamation came, the Nikolai and the other slavers you met were the only people to come to her inn, and she's getting kind of fed up of all this. She's like, this has to end, and if you think you can end it, do whatever you have to do. I don't really care that much.
All right, fair enough. I can count on you to be at a meeting.
And she goes, so many meetings recently. Fine, yes, of course.
I'll do my best to keep it short. I'll keep the bureaucracy down.
She nods. Thank you, she says almost sarcastically. Bob, you're eating during all this. You chime in anywhere? Say anything to Loredana?
Not really, but Bob is eating very messily today. Bob's excited today.
She looks at you and she doesn't scoff audibly, but she kind of rolls her eyes and looks back at Nero during the conversation as you're spilling porridge or whatever all over her counter.
So let's say Iwan's around the Usquid too, and hears the conversation between the two of them, and basically starts picking up on some of Loredana's frustration and impatience. And so she chimes in and she's like, well, if we really want to force the action, then why don't, as a council, we vote to repossess the vastness for like our council meetings and stuff. There's no reason that they should be occupying that space. City should own it, right?
She shrugs and says, "They are an army. They are an occupying army. Who would take it from them? You can change the law however you want, but they're there. They have swords."
It's true, though there would be some dissent if the law of the land said you're not welcome. They're a lawful order, if nothing else.
Or at least they pretend to be. Yeah.
Pretend to be.
And she shrugs. She's like, "I'm not sure how that would play. I don't know how they would take that." And she also mentions, like, it's not just a fortress. It's not just it's a sacred space of Ayamade, like the church ground, the burial, the courtyard where all the people are buried. There's a big statue. Like, it's a sacred space to them. It's even more so than this town. That fastness means so much to their faith. I don't see them abandoning it.
Yeah, well, and what of the people of the town? Like, shouldn't they have access to it as well? It's important to them, theoretically, too.
They did before 2 days ago. They were allowed in for daily services and things like that, but recently, for whatever reason, I've been hearing tell that the doors have been closed.
Right, exactly. Well, I feel like all the more reason to make them face the reality of what they're doing and to either admit that they're phonies or to, like, be real to what they say their cause is and to, like, surrender to the new order.
She nods and says that you make valid points, but I don't think they will care much about your valid points. You do what you wish with the law. And she looks at Nero as she says, "The law. Do what you wish with the law, and see how they take it."
All right.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. She groans once more. But sorry, go ahead.
I need to see Anselm, and then I'll see you at the square in a little while.
She nods, and again, just kind of she looks around the empty room and groans, but doesn't say much more. So yeah, she'll be at the square.
Hold on, I want to check my sheet before I do this because I don't want to make an offer that I can't actually meet. But yeah, so Iwan will ask, or theoretically, I guess she should know, but how much she charges for her rooms per night? Like, how much does she feel like she's missing out on because of this crap?
It depends on how many people would stay there. So she has, I would call it a common inn, not a really fancy inn. So, like, usually per person she'd get like 5 silver for like a merchant staying there, something like that. 5 silver per person. And she says, like, it's never packed. Like, she's not going to lie to you and tell you that she's like got people coming out of the rafters. But certainly before an oath day, people will be here for a day or two, and stay. Yeah.
So just give me a number. What do you think? What would your books have counted on for this?
Not a whole lot. She would say something like 4 or 5 gold.
Okay. Well, so then Iwan would basically just say, if this helps your attitude a little bit, take this 4 or 5 gold and consider this place full.
And it certainly does. She very gleefully, without a moment of hesitation, doesn't even like try to pretend like she's not going to take your money. She takes it and says, "All right, then perhaps it is full." I didn't even know Ty was in here. Or did somebody sneak in and let him in?
Somebody snuck and let him in.
Okay, I'm like, what the fuck was that? All right. Yeah. So she's very happy about it. Thank you. She thanks you, well, not profusely, just a little bit. She accepts it and thanks you. All right. So Nero's going to head out to see Ansel at the Historicum, or whatever it's called. What's everybody else doing? Bob and Iwan, what are you doing after the conversation with Loredana?
Where is Brexter? I know it's kind of a random question, but I feel like he's been MIA. Is he back at the Forge?
Probably. There was a point where Vors had him in his backpack or something, and then we figured out he's actually the size of a halfling, so that's not really possible. So he's probably hanging out in the Forge, because he can jump from fire to fire. He hides well in fire. So unless you want him someplace else specifically, he's there.
No, that's fine. I think Iwan would go out to the forge and like visit him and basically tell him, there's been a lot of shit going down. Things are about to get messy. I wouldn't be surprised if we need you, and basically just like getting him excited about the potential to start burning some stuff.
And when you come to visit him and talk to him, he's actually very happy because he knows that you speak Infernal. I think you've gone back and forth a couple of times, so he loves conversing to you in his native tongue, and he's very happy to have you visit. And he keeps asking you, like, is it time to burn? What do we burn? What needs to burn?
There's gonna be lots to burn, I think. And so she'll kind of like point over to the fastness at the towers. If I don't know if you can actually see it from there. I assume you probably can. The tops of the walls where the
certainly the big towers and stuff, and like I said, there's a giant spire in the center of the thing that's kind of overlooks the whole town.
So basically, she'll be like, we very well may have to have you launch some fire at that thing. Don't do it yet, but just like get like kind of getting them a little bit psyched up to do it. Like, we may need you. This would be really important. So in the next couple of days, like, we may come back and we want you to be ready. Would you be ready?
He nods. Always ready for fire. And you hear him cackle, and he begins talking a little bit about when you guys burned down the Hardship's hearth. He says that was wood, all fire, all burn. And he points to the big spire, and he says, "Stone not burn good, but we try.
No, but guards burn good inside. So
he nods. Yes, guards burn good. So he's really.
And she'll
happy
just
about
generally
that.
like with him recapping what he did at the old jail and reminiscing and stuff. So just spend a little bit of time with him.
Yeah, he enjoys that a lot. All right, Bob, what were you doing? So Nero went to go to the Historicum, and Bob finished his porridge and polishing his weapon.
Bob doesn't really have any plans. Bob's just kind of milling around until he gets to kill something.
All right. So Nero at the Historicum, what are you doing with Anselm?
He's looking for any plans of the fastness, and he's looking for any, leads on any magical scrolls he might find in town.
All right. So they definitely have like an old diagram of the fastness when it was first built. I'm not sure how best to convey that to you, but you do find that. And you're looking for scrolls. I believe he probably has access to some scrolls. Anything in particular?
Stone shape if we can pull it off, but might be tough to pull off.
Let me see. Stone shape.
3rd level.
3rd level. That's rough.
Yeah, that is what I was thinking, but
yeah. Let's see.
Or a line weapon would be helpful as well. Purchase order base limit. Blah 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 blah. Right. Blah. So there's a chance. It's definitely a chance that there's a stone shape spell. So let me roll some stuff. There is not a stone shape scroll. What was the other one you wanted? A line weapon, which is 2nd level.
Alright, let's see. A little easier then. And there is also not one of those.
Oh!
No, so he says that, among his collection of books, he does have some scrolls, but he certainly doesn't have anything like this.
What else does he have?
That's a good question.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't have anything prepared for that, but like
No worries, man.
he'd have like very common wizard or cleric spells, and he says that most of the scrolls would probably be in the fastness. Maybe the Temple of Torag could help you, but I don't know. They might have stone shape. I mean, they're
Okay. I'll check with them as well. I'm gonna make a small sketch of this and then I'll take it with me. And Nero basically makes a diagram of the fastness as best he can, looking for spots where the walls might be thin or where what leads to what on the outside wall.
Sure. You don't find in the diagram anything that's very obvious. Like there's not like, oh, there's a door here that leads into the thing. But they do describe the way that the towers work. They all have a door on the 1st level, on the inside of the courtyard, obviously. And they are 3 stories high with a wooden ladder that goes all the way up. And the closest 2 towers they have mechanisms for opening the big gate. It's like it's not just barred or whatever. There's actually like big things that have to be cranked up to open the gate.
Okay.
And you don't find anything else too obvious about what you're looking at. The walls are very thick, and you can see on the map if you look at the fastness. Even outside the courtyard, like the building itself is very thick walled. As I think either you described it or maybe you talked to Linton about it, or I forget how. But there's also big, large stained glass windows on the second story of the main building, and the spire is open to the air.
If only we could fly.
If only you could fly.
I believe I can fly.
You don't have a regular. You have an arcanist. I was like, you don't have a wizard. You have an arcanist.
Oh, we just teleport.
Some of you can teleport.
Not all of us.
We can hold hands.
I don't think
you
her
don't-
thing does that. Dimension Door does. I don't know if hers doesn't. He's shaking his head.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't do that.
Oh, all right.
I'd have to put one of you in the bag and then take you through.
I'll hold my breath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
What's
so
Thor's up to? Yeah.
Vor's would, I guess, go. He'd probably go like to number 5, like the little house of that guy that we were.
Pious
messed up.
Pete?
Yeah, we go to that house and basically just find like a empty bedroom, or if it seems safe, just so we could like unroll the angel skin and check it out.
Sure, yeah. So you were at 3 is the alchemist's place. So you
Yep.
just hop over to 5 to Pious Pete's place. You can still see the dent in the wall where it was Bob. It was Boozle Bob,
Boozle
not
Bob.
yeah, the old Bob. You can see the dent in the wall where old Bob slammed the head of Pious Pete and killed him. And yeah, it's empty. It's abandoned. No one has taken the place, and it's kind of like a beggar's hut. He didn't have much. He has like a little straw bed.
So yeah, I just check out the angel skin, and
It's cured as described. It's not like an actual fashioned piece of armor. He's not an armor smith, but you believe that it would probably work. Just wrapping it around somebody under their armor would probably work well enough for the purposes.
all right, cool. And then I don't know. I'd actually go back to Linton and ask him if he has any silver sheen.
He certainly has silver sheen. That's not too expensive. Yes, he certainly has silver sheen in stock. It is 250 gold. It's cheap enough that he has it, but it's not something he'll give you away for free. He's like, how much do you need? And he gestures as if he has a lot.
Just one. I already have, actually.
Okay.
I already have 2.
Oh, okay. So do you want this? Do you have enough money? I thought you said you only like 180 gold.
118.
Okay, so yeah, so you don't have enough to buy this unless you trade something with him.
Nah.
Meh. All right. So yeah, he says, "I'm sorry I can't cut you a deal, but business is slow in town."
No, it's all good, man.
He nods.
It's a shame if someone burned down.
Same. If someone's alchemy lab had burned down. All right. So anybody want to do anything else before the council begins to get assembled?
Probably just check in with the Toreg people and see if they have any scrolls. Probably they don't.
They do not, but that was closer.
Come on, you guys are stone clerics. Come on.
I know. That's what I was giving them a good shot of having it, and they did not
Sons of
have it.
bitches.
Maybe Kelsira had one and used it somewhere before she died.
Oh.
But yeah, the acolytes they look around and they can't find anything like that. No.
Right. I would like to use the restroom before we start the town council meeting.
Okay, sure. We take a quick break.
All right, I'll be right back.
Sure. Now, I don't want to pause it, Michael, because we talked about this. You said I can't stitch them together anymore.
Well, I mean, you could probably just go use like handbrake or something like a normal person.
Fine. All right. So the town council meeting is happening. Vors wanted to find a hammer, and there are many places to buy hammers. And hammers are cheap as shit, I'm pretty sure. Not a regular hammer. Do you want like a war hammer, or what do you want?
Something that won't really slow me down, I guess. I just need something that can...
Like a house hammer, like a nail hammer, yeah.
No, like...
You want a weapony hammer?
Yeah. I need to apply blunt force.
Yeah. So like it's 12 gold for like a weapon quality hammer.
Yeah, I'll get one of those.
Or you can have that's like a war hammer. If you want just like a regular light hammer, which is significantly smaller, that's only 1 gold. It does a lot less damage.
I want more damage.
All right,
I think you should go. I think you should buy a Bob-esque hammer.
Well, it is a warhammer. What you have is a warhammer. It's just a magical warhammer, magical, super evil warhammer.
Can we sell like Bob Elzoob collector's edition hammers?
I mean, you can. The other guy was Boozlebob was trying to make knockoff Angel Knight masks for a while there. That was his bread and butter.
Maybe we should go to Boozlebob's metal shop.
Well, I think I said that I took Boozlebob's flail.
Oh
So
yeah.
I think I have that.
The boot flail?
Yeah.
The flail or the boot flail? Which one are you referring to specifically?
I can't remember what I said during the recording, but I totally said that I'd take a flail.
All right. Okay. So everybody kind of coalesces around the town square, and as I was telling Vors earlier, as you're moving about town, you see a lot fewer people, even fewer than you saw in the last couple of days. People have gotten the notice that shit's going down, and the Glorious Reclamation has been taking people, and there's been violence in the streets, there's been vandalism in the streets, and very few people are leaving their homes. I think Nero saw, if it was yesterday or the day before, some Glorious Reclamation people are actually leaving the town. With the announcement that Sonara was taken and with the violence that's going on here, some people have actually just packed up and left, presumably to go to Sonara. But as everybody assembles in the town square for the council meeting, very few citizens show up. It's only like we'll say a couple dozen different people come. So it's mostly just you and the board and very curious. And I will put Nero in his spot in the circle. And Bob, you're going to the council meeting, yes?
Yes, hell yes.
Have you been to council meetings before?
Yes.
All right. Okay, cool. And you're walking around with your armor and your hammer out, or is your hammer?
I mean, it's like on his belt,
Okay, so not super
like a
obvious.
weapon.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Zara is there in her full Hell Knight armor, and she should have healed 6 hit points too at night. So she's there in her full Hell Knight armor, and she has her shield, which is very emblazoned with the Order of the Rack on it. So it's very, very obvious who she is and what she does. And the Order of the Rack is like the least liked Hell Knight order among all of them. Because the Order of the Rack are the people that kind of, they shut down heretical knowledge, they burn books. If you start talking about revolting away from House Thrune, they take away your family members and ransom them back, things like that. They shut things down before they threaten the status quo. So seeing her walking around, this is now like, what's the word? Brazenly, yeah. She's walking around brazenly as if like, I'm in this town, this is what happens now. Like, this is the piece you signed up for. And the few citizens that are around are kind of taken back by that, and some of them are cheering her on, but a lot of them are just quiet in her presence. All right. So, what would you like to do? Everybody kind of looks to you, Nero, because you're the one that called the meeting.
Nero basically looks at the council members and asks if they'll indulge him in a short speech to the masses.
Loredana rolls her eyes because you promised to keep it brief.
Short.
Everybody else is everybody else is just, they kind of nod along and say, yeah, sure, certainly.
Okay. Let me start by talking to you lot before we call the meeting to order, and Nero will basically give them the rundown of what's happening with the Glorious Reclamation, and he basically punctuates it with what happened last night, how one patrol responded, the other patrol responded with violence, and how this has to stop. So there's going to have to be some discussion with us together, but not necessarily in front of the whole town about what we're going to do here.
Mm-hmm.
But I want you to be aware because I don't want anything I say to surprise you.
Okay. And you can hear the very few people are murmuring quietly as you announce that. And the council members are all sitting there with rapt attention.
And so we're good?
Yeah.
So Nero basically starts talking and starts to give a speech about how what a great town Cantaria is, that sort of thing, and sort of elaborates to say it's a town based in law, it's a town based in order. Even if you look back to the times of Iamade, this is a town that's based in law and order. And that the things that are going on in this town do not represent what Cantaria is, who Cantaria is. And he specifically calls out the vandalism that's going on, the people who disagree vandalizing other people's storefronts and that sort of stuff, that's not what Cantaria stands for. And he ends up giving this big speech about we all need to come together, especially in a time like this. We have an occupying army here that has made it clear that they will not respect the law and order of this town. And we need to come together as a town, we need to come together as people, and we need to resist them. And we're going to figure out how this town exists the way it is in a Thrune nation, and we're going to do it with the law, and it's going to stand. And then that's it.
All right. Toss out a diplomacy check to see how well you convince the masses and your fellow council members.
I'm going to throw an 8 on it and just
Okay.
0 point. Because I want to make it a great speech.
All right. Fair enough. Let's see how hilariously large this number is.
It'll be good.
Yeah, okay, so a 47. So you give an amazing speech, possibly the speech of your life. And you're basically, you set out the things like vandalism is bad, we're building something here, let's not tear it down. And you said, like you said, we're going to find a pathway for this town to exist under Thrune's rule using the law. So a lot of the people that have shown up are Thrune supporters, most of them, because the Glorious Reclamation people are terrified, either leaving town or boarding up their houses. So hearing that you are looking to make yourselves right with Thrune again is resonating with them. All of the council members, including Mytrop, who was in a pissy mood because a bunch of his halfling friends are still missing. Even he is kind of like, he understands like what's going on, what you guys are trying to do here. So all the council members are they actually they clap for you. They actually no standing ovations or anything like that, but they're basically saying like we all agree with this. This is the way we're moving forward. And they look around to make sure that everyone out there agrees. Like this is happening, everybody. This is the way it's going to be, and we have to do what we have to do. Voris is sneaking around the crowd.
We need a militia. We need people who help us build this town up into what it needs to be. We need people to use their skills. We need to start trade again. That's something that we're going to cover today in the meeting. Anyone that's militarily trained or wants to be a part of this town's way forward should bring people who are like-minded. This won't be a brute squad. These won't be thugs. You will be held accountable under the law.
And as you say that, Eric comes out from one of the corners. He was there, kind of hiding in the back, and he hasn't found too many people. We'll say that he has found only one other person in that morning while he was talking. But he clearly calls out again, puffing out his chest as if trying to impress you and maybe even convince himself that this is what's actually happening. He says that I was going to say Roy and I. Yeah, he found Roy. So he said, Roy and I would be proud to serve in such a militia. And he elbows his friend, who was a little more reluctant than he is.
We'd be glad to have you. We have to start somewhere.
And he nods and calls back. We've got to push back against they're the occupiers. He says, searching for the word. He says like their patrols at night, this curfew. It's absurd. All of it's absurd.
I agree. This isn't about Thrune versus the Glorious Reclamation. This isn't about evil versus good. This isn't about Asmodeus versus Iomade. This is about Cantaria and what we are.
And a bunch of the crowd actually starts cheering when you say that. Like, they're very happy the way that you worded that, especially because a lot of them have friends. Like, before this all started, Iomedeans lived alongside Asmodeans and Thrune people. It was all just, everybody was just people, and this little revolution and ongoing civil war is tearing the city apart, and they'd be happy to just be Cantaria again.
You know, these people were your neighbors before. They're going to be your neighbors again. Unshutter your windows. Be ready for the change that's coming through. But granted, this is the way forward. We're not going to get ground under.
Again, you find a very receptive audience to your words. Your speech has moved all of the people there. It's a shame it wasn't a larger crowd. But you do hear some people that are going up to Eric to inquire, how does this militia work? How are we going to do that? And he doesn't have a whole lot of answers at this point, but he is like collecting names and getting things ready. And people will begin arming themselves.
Okay. So with that, I guess we'll start the meeting and go into that. Yeah.
Sure. What are your objectives for the meeting? We don't have to roleplay all of it if you don't want to.
We can just speed through it because I want to get to some action. Wants to, at some point, declare the glorious reclamation and occupying army, and that they're inhabitants of the fastness is unlawful. Wants to get trade restarted, and he would enlist the dwarf quartermaster, who he assumes has contacts to do that.
Mm-hmm. Not a whole lot, but yeah, Durgal does. He is there. He did show up for the meeting, and he is in agreement with that, yeah.
And that's it as far as the public stuff, and just make it clear that, like, this is the way forward. I've been in contact with Phaedrith Zane, and he makes it very plain that he's been in contact with Phaedrith Zane, and that they're working on a solution to make the Protectorate happen.
Okay.
So, as they're wrapping up, I would just say Iwan would put one more item on the agenda, which is she would essentially make the case, it's really important that we kind of get the town on board with this new idea that people shuttering up and hiding in their homes isn't really kind of a new way, that they're bought in. So why don't we have like a new Cantaria sort of gathering or some sort of big event to get people out and excited about this, and prove that they're safe in this, like, we'll basically just protect them in case anybody comes to try to disturb it, but we need something to raise spirits generally.
Jana, hearing that, so you just called that out from the crowd, I guess, right? Yeah. So Jana, hearing that, she nods and says, "Tomorrow is Oath Day. I'm not sure how many people would show up to a market, but if we made it a festival or a celebration and promised security, perhaps they would come out of their homes."
The foundation of New Cantaria.
And there's some murmuring in the public and a bunch of nods from the council members. They seem to be in agreement with such an idea. Mytrop is the first to speak and says, "How would you guarantee their safety, though?"
It's an interesting thought. Off the cuff, I think we'd have to get the right people to be defending them. So probably, I know that your people can handle themselves, Mytrop, and I know that there are people in this town also like Eric here who can handle themselves, and we would call on them to help us and keep people safe. And it'll be the Oath Day market, and we can also maybe we can enlist the Church of Torag. Churches are built to be fortresses. When it's sacred ground, it's holy ground. And let's be clear that Torag likes a party.
He does. He's a dwarf god, beer god, stone god, crafter god. Yeah. He's not the beer god, he's a beer god, though. But yeah, so everybody does seem amenable to this. And my trop is a little hesitant because, he has had a bunch of his people kidnapped recently, and he brings up the fact that the people that still support the Glorious Reclamation, he's not sure they're going to want to come out, especially if, anti-Glorious Reclamation militia is guarding everything.
I want to make it clear, this militia is not anti-Glorious Reclamation. This militia is pro-Cantaria.
Ooh. Yeah, and you've had a bunch of smooth words. So yeah, everything you say is being taken as little nuggets of wisdom. The way you're saying things, and people are very receptive to everything that's going on. So the council all agrees that tomorrow for Oath Day there should be some sort of a celebration with whatever we can muster. And you have 2 innkeepers in town who have access to all the booze in town, pretty much.
It's true. And Nero has a bunch of money that he's going to throw around. So
there you go. Sounds like a party. All right. Anything else for the town council meeting? Anyone else from the audience want to say anything? Bob, you doing anything during the town council meeting?
Bob's just, playing with his hammer. Not hitting anything, just, playing with it.
Zara she's walking around again. She's almost strutting, she's kind of cocky like a rooster, kind of just strutting around, letting people know, I'm here. You threw me in jail once, but I'm here now, and I'm still standing for everything my order stands for. And as Nero's giving his speech, she kind of brushes up against you, and she says, "Do you have the patience for this?"
Who'd she brush up against?
Bob.
Bob Elzub.
Oh, like you said, you brushed up against Nero. I was like,
No, Nero's giving the speech, and while he's talking with all his flowery words, she kind of, not shoulder checks you hard or anything, but she just brushes up against you, because you've been fighting side by side. And she goes, "Do you have the patience for this?"
Bob laughs and tells a joke to his hammer.
You ignore her and talk to your hammer?
Well, no, I mean, I tell the joke to the hammer, I laugh with the hammer.
Soon, my pet, soon.
Yeah, and Bob, hell yeah, Bob has the patience for this.
So you say hell yeah, and you say Bob in the third person has the patience for this?
Oh, Bob,
Role play!
Bob says something to the effect of dilly dilly, we're gonna kill him later, but
That'll be still later.
I saw what you did to the sergeant last night. I know it was a sword night. I saw what you did to the sword knight last night. You have a taste for it now.
Bob said, "You didn't see anything."
And she raises an eyebrow and says, "Oh, but I did."
Bob grabs his hammer and raises it up, not high enough so that other people can see it, but at his chest, and says, "You didn't see anything."
And she looks you square in the eye and says, "I certainly did."
Are they gonna make out?
Bob makes a romantic check.
A romantic chat?
No, romantic check.
A romantic check? You want to make a diplomacy check? Or what are you trying to do to her?
Yeah.
Go ahead, try to diplomacy her.
He's trying to get to the point where he gets to make a fort check.
Yeah, so an 11 is you don't embarrass yourself, but you don't advance yourself either. So she brushes off your clumsy romantic gesture, and she says, "They cower behind their walls like frightened dogs. Let's put these curs out of their misery and wipe their little revolution off from the history books."
Bob says, "Calm down." All right, we're in a large party here. Calm down.
She's talking quietly, a little louder than she should, maybe, but she is talking to you quietly.
Doesn't matter what volume it's at, just calm down.
Fine.
Everybody just calm down. How does she react to being told to calm down?
She's not happy about it, but she doesn't say anything in response.
How does anyone react to being told to come down?
Yeah. Bob says, just wait, it'll be okay soon.
She shakes her head and she tries one more time. She says, I know you felt it. I cut one down myself last night. I know you felt it. I need more.
Bob taps her with the hammer and says, "God damn it, calm down."
That is enough to intimidate her, so she is actually afraid. And she will stop. But she turns to walk away, and she says, "They put you in that prison too. I was there for weeks. You were only there a couple days. And, like, they must pay for what they've done.
How many times do I gotta say calm down, bitch?
She walks away. She throws up her cape and she walks away. Goes back to strutting around the area. Alright. That is everybody. Yeah, so unless anybody else has anything to do at the council meeting, it's over. What would you guys like to do now? I guess
Kill that bitch.
I guess the council has produced some sort of document saying that the Glorious Reclamation is an occupying army, as Nero said, and that their occupation of Valor's Fastness is illegal, that the town basically wants them gone. Okay, so you have a piece of paper signed by every member of the council, including Anselm, who was voted in last time. And it is signed and sealed with all their little wax sigils, whatever they have. And Loredana, as she's signing it, you see her shaking her head as if she has no confidence that this is going to do anything. But Nero's doing his little law thing, so that's fine.
So, and once he's got them alone, he'll basically say that he wants to start things early with this festival. Food, drink, party through the night. Let's make it clear that we're here to stay. I need to talk to you all about the fastness.
The council?
Yes.
Okay.
I think
so-
without... Ooh, sorry.
I was gonna say, like, they're gonna officially like end the meeting and then go somewhere to talk, or okay.
Yes.
Okay, so they do so, and Jana invites them all to head back to the Swedish Strap Tavern, where you can go to one of the back rooms and talk. And yeah, and everybody's willing to go. All of the council members, and I guess the party want to follow them.
Yeah.
Eric says he's going to go out and get the word out about the party and try to find more militia volunteers to serve as guards. And, yes, Jeff?
So, yeah, I was just going to say, Iwan sort of trusts Nero to handle the council and doesn't necessarily want to deal with the details. But after the council does its thing, let's just say in parallel, Iwan's going to go and kind of, well, assume that she overheard Zara talking to Bob, and so she'll go find her way over to Zara to talk to her a little bit.
Sure. She wasn't, like I said, she was talking quietly, but she wasn't, not so quietly. She's okay with other people knowing what she wants to do.
Yeah, I'll say that Iwan was standing nearby. I mean, they're like in the council. They're standing near each other. So, yeah.
So what do you say to Zara?
Oh, you want to do that first? Okay. Basically, she'll chase her down and say, "Hey, look, I'm pissed at this order too. They do, like, I'm with you. I think they do deserve to be snuffed out, but these things take time, and the way in which they happen are really important. So just know that you're with good hands with this group, that we have the same objectives, and that, at least from my perspective, it's important that the Glorious Reclamation comes and basically brings about their own end. If we go in there and squash them, it doesn't really bring about a permanent end. They have to come and end it for themselves. And this Oath Day and the order that they're going to get about the fastness is going to piss them off. And if we've seen anything from them so far, they don't take well to that kind of thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some of them out here tomorrow to try to disturb our event, and they're going to be sorry if they do that. Okay. But I think we need to trickle in their demise in that kind of way.
Zara hears you out. She doesn't interrupt you at all during your speech, as is common with humans in Chiliax to you as a gnome. She hears you out in your entirety, but she just shakes her head at the end and says, That hasn't been my experience. In all the time I've been working with populations, I found that it's easier to break their will than to bend it.
But the thing is, like, that works in the short term, but then eventually the ideas always come back. These sorts of things need to be disgraced to never come back.
And she nods. She says, I can understand that. You must make an example, but She shakes her head again and says, "This is far too long." He's like, if I had a cadre of Hell Knights, this would be over tomorrow. Alright. Anybody doing anything else? Alright. So, Nero, what were you doing in your little secret council meeting?
In an effort to be brief, Nero basically throws it out there that something needs to be done about the fastness, and he's looking for the council's okay to lawfully take occupiers into custody. He wants to take Oppian into custody specifically, but he wants to get some support from the council that if he needs to take people into custody because of what's going on, that's acceptable.
Janna speaks up first and says, "I prefer that over them being slain, certainly." And whatever. Oppian's certainly gone. He's gone off his rocker. He's lost his way, but I still don't believe him to be a bad man.
For someone from a lawful order to behave so in opposition to the law, it's the kind of thing I'd think about the kind of devil or demon that revels in deceiving people. That's the kind of thing they would do.
Yeah. Anselm nods to that because he knows a fair bit about devils and hell-eatings, and they do like to twist their deals if they can to suit themselves. But in general, you do find the council accepting of this. Loredana, again, she doesn't think you can do it. She doesn't think you can effect these arrests. She doesn't think you're going to get near Oppian. She doesn't think that he's going to go quietly or that his knights are going to let you take him. And she brings this up all plainly. Like, I don't think you can do this. I don't know what you think is going to happen, but you've got a bunch of zealots in there that are going to try to fight you to the death.
This is why you're on this council, is because you're the only one who speaks like this. I'm going to try. I think that what it's going to come down to is we don't have an army, but I think a crack team, if we could get behind the doors of the fastness, could affect this arrest. And I think the whole order crumbles once that happens. And I, like you, don't have a taste for slaughter. I don't have a taste for blood. If I can do this bloodlessly, I want to.
Janna smiles hearing that. She almost looks like, like a teenager who's like, ah. And like Loredana shakes her head and looks at Janna and says, "There will be blood. Like this. I don't see this going off as Nero has described it. Like it may not be a slaughter, but certainly more will die."
And Nero nods his head.
Yeah, Loredana looks like a sad puppy, realizing that her idea of this ending with no more dying was a stupid idea. Mytrop is very much in support of your idea. He still believes that Perko and several other halflings are being held in the fastness, and he says, during your assault, if you could free them, that would be appreciated, obviously.
It's completely within my plan to do that.
Okay. Linton, he agrees, but he's quiet and reserved about it. He doesn't really tip his hand as to anything that you've talked about previously, and he just says, like, if it must be done, it must be done. Like, we need to get back to order. We need to get back to normalcy here in Cansaria. Loredana already told you all her skepticism. Janna didn't say that much. Anselm also kind of agrees with Loredana. He doesn't speak as frankly, but he does say that I don't think they're going to stand down. As it was brought up during the council meeting, this is a holy site for them. Like, I don't see them leaving a cathedral of their own, where their god literally slept.
They're welcome here. They're not welcome as an occupying army.
Yeah, so he nods as if like he doesn't have anything else to say, but can't convince you of anything else. So you do have the tacit agreement of the town council that they will not object or oppose you in any way if you try to arrest Oppian, and if others need to be subdued and arrested, so be it. And they would all prefer less blood is good for most of the people.
Yeah.
And Loredana still thinks you can't do it.
That's true. That's fine. I didn't say no blood. I didn't say I'm not going to kill anybody. I didn't say nothing.
Lorgar is not even certain you could do it with blood, for the record, but she's...
Fair.
They're an occupying army in a fortress they've known for a long time. She's not sure what you guys are going to do, but she doesn't know your full capabilities. All right, so you've got the agreement. What would you like to do with it?
I'd like to figure out a way to get in there. He'll basically make it known that I need some way to get into the fortress. Anything you know is helpful. Anything you can supply me with is helpful.
Linton doesn't have anything. Laura, Donna, and Janet don't have anything.
Figure
My
not.
trap, I don't think has anything interesting, but let me see.
I figure not, but it's worth asking.
Yeah, he doesn't have anything too interesting. The best my trap comes up with is he can get like grappling hooks and stuff like that. The halflings have a bunch of that around, but nothing that's going to teleport you in or move you like melt walls like you were thinking.
Right.
So yeah, no one on the council has a good idea of how you're going to get in there.
Okay.
And as you saw in the floor plan or blueprint or whatever that you found in Inslin's shop, they do have the front two towers have a mechanism for opening the gate, and they need to be like lifted. It's a very big, heavy mechanical operating thing, and it's a pretty large wooden reinforced door, so it'd be hard to bash in.
Okay.
But it is wooden.
It's true.
They convert. All right. So you have the agreement to everybody else. Anything else you want to do with the town council?
Nope. Nero pulls out a bag of gold. What do we need to get things started?
I don't know. I would say
16,000 gold.
like I would say 50 gold would be like a ludicrous party. Like if you had 50 gold and you're doing commoner level stuff like beer and food, you would have quite the spread for 50 gold.
Let's do a 50 gold spread. I'll knock it off the sheet.
All right.
How much would it take to get Ludicrous to perform?
You'd have to find him. You'd have to find somebody from around here.
Summon Ludicrous. It's a 5th level spell.
Yeah, right. Planar binding, ludicrous. You have to negotiate with him with an opposed charisma check to make him perform. But yeah. So Nero drops 50 gold on a table, and Loredana and Jana, their eyes go wide. Like, this is a lot of money. Even though these are like notable people in town, they're not adventurers. They don't have the level of wealth you guys have, and you've just plopped down like a commoner's salary for like 10 years on this table, and they're just like, this is insane. And like they both nod at each other, and they'll figure something out. They'll get the food and stuff going, and they'll work with Durgal to get tables and chairs and stuff set up. And there will certainly be quite the spread. They'll do something in the circle where the Oath Day Market is supposed to take place, but probably won't because no one does that. And also they'll work with the Temple of Torag to set up something there as well, if people don't feel safe out in the open. But yeah, we'll make a note of that. That's pretty awesome. Anything else?
Let's go meet with what's his face, Zane, if he'll come out.
Zane did not come out. You go to the manor and you hang out there for a while, and Zane does not show up.
Okay. Figured he wouldn't, but
Now it's like mid to late afternoon.
okay. So Nero spends that time researching how to do the protectorate, whatever that
Sure.
entails.
You have a pretty good handle on it, and I think Iwin did some of her own research, and Phaedrith did some research too and provided it to you. And you do fully believe that there is a legal framework for you to set up like an independent, family aligned, town or whatever you want to call it, province within Cheliax, under Thrune. But you would pay tithes, or you would pay whatever the equivalent is. Like you would still be under Thrune. You would still show fealty to Thrune.
Right.
Things must be done. Render unto Caesar, all that.
Right.
But you do believe that it is possible to get the almost democratic sort of government set up that you want here. Even though it would be very odd in Cheliax. It's not something that happens everywhere. But you do believe it, and especially with the research today, you kind of put the finishing touches on exactly what it's going to be like.
Okay. Well, anyone ideas on how to get in?
Dog can smash the wall.
Well, I mean, if we're going to do that, I'll just have... we should deliver the bodies first. We should deliver the bodies first. And let them put them in the ground or mutilate them, whatever they're going to do. We should... if we're going to just charge the gate, then we just have a big bonfire and let Brexter do the work.
Could you use an earth elemental to like go actuate the like the portcullis or gate or whatever?
I can surmise how it works, but I don't know that I'd be able to give detailed enough instructions to an earth elemental to fix it. And you're also assuming that the floor of the tower isn't wood.
Okay.
So
For me,
not that it's impossible to try, just that it might be difficult.
Yeah, Earth Elementals are pretty dumb, and they take literal instructions very well, but I don't know if they understand the kind of things he's saying. He's right.
we established how thick the walls are.
I can find that probably.
Just burn it.
Burn the walls.
I mean, I'd rather... If there was a way to get through the stone, I don't know that that's something we could do.
Where does it say about the walls? Okay. The exterior walls are 20 feet high and 10 feet thick, so those stone walls are 10 feet thick and 20 feet high. And the doors are strong, reinforced wooden doors. So they're wooden doors with like iron bands on them.
Alternatively, we start a fire, let Brexter wreck the joint up, and when he does, we let them do that, and we try to find a way in through the side of the building. I mean, if we have a way to bend stone, but I don't know that we can do that.
Why don't we just smoke them out then?
I don't know that we could build a fire that big without burning the half of the town.
Well, I mean, why don't we just burn the gate down then?
It's a way to start. There's going to be a lot of blood.
I'm okay with that.
Bob, how do you feel about burning the gate down?
Bob's okay with burning the gate down. We'll get to kill people faster.
Yeah, Zara's all on board with this plan. Like as you were talking about how to get past the gate, she was talking about, oh, the mechanisms are up there, and I don't know, you'd have to like scale the things if you wanted to open the gate. But hearing the idea that you could just burn it down, she's like, yeah, let's go with that. Let's burn down the gate.
Bob looks at Zara and says, "See, I told you."
Breaking down the gate is the way to go if we're going to go in the front door, but let's not get stuck on the ground. We need to get into the holdfast immediately. We need to run across the courtyard and get into the holdfast. We're not there to make bodies in the courtyard. We're there to make bodies in the building proper.
I mean, if we wanted to have the gate burn and draw the attention to the front,
Guys, don't
certainly we can get to the top of the wall and have a rope come down for others to climb up if we want to do something like that.
I don't think any of us should be anywhere near the top of the wall.
When was the last time?
There's a food line up there.
There is a food lion walking around the park. Oh yeah, but this is the first time you've mentioned it.
Yeah.
You don't. Oh, and you didn't roll very well, so you don't know what a food lion is. You know, there's a stone-looking lion, like a lion statue that's alive.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's like one of Kelsara's dogs, but like a lion.
Let's see if I know what that is.
Make a knowledge check. See what you know about food lions. What kind of monster is a food lion? It is an outsider. So this is plains. Nero got a 17, and Iwan got a 27. So, Nero, you know a little bit about them. They they're good extraplanar outsiders, so they're from like a good aligned plane. And they have a lot of the same abilities that lions have. Like they pounce, they rake, they get on you and they claw the shit out of you. And what else would you know? You know that they do have like a stony exterior and they do have damage reduction, and that bludgeoning weapons is what beats it. Like you just hammer the shit out of them because they're made of rocks. Iwan knows a bit more. She knows that when they act in tandem with other felines, like if there's multiple around, they get all sorts of bonuses to their armor and things like that. Like they work well as teams. She knows that they are as intelligent as like a moderately intelligent person, not even like an average person, I'd say. Like just a almost human intelligence, but not all the way there. She knows they're good at standing still and looking like statues. Like if they want to pretend to be gargoyles or statues or something like that, they can just kind of fake you out. But now that you're looking for them, it's going to be hard for them to hide. And she knows that they are immune to poison, diseases, paralysis, and sleep. Write that down.
So she'll probably immediately ask Vors if he, like, was there just one, or did you see more than one?
I only saw one. That was when Nero and I were at the gate.
When the hell were you going to tell us about this?
Well, it just became important. It's like we can't just like, if we try to run through the courtyard, we're gonna have to deal with the dog, and we're gonna have to deal with the food line. It's like we should just burn the gate down, and like I'll take out as many as I can from afar. But we need to have, I think Silver Sheen will help with the planar beings. So I think I'll give. So I know Linton has a bunch in stock. I didn't have enough money to buy more. I have enough for 40 arrows, but we should get some for Bob's hammer.
Only lasts a couple of hits. I don't know if it's worth putting on the hammer at all.
All right, then we should still get more for my arrows. Probably gonna need more than 40.
Well, that's for an hour. Never mind.
Yeah.
What is silver used against? I know it's used for lycanthropes. Like, what are you thinking
I
silver
don't know.
works?
I don't know if silver works against them. I guess.
Yeah, because I was just thinking, like, you might know if it doesn't work on angels. I'm not sure what you think silver works on. Yeah, you can. Joe doesn't know, so your knowledge check doesn't help you. I thought it works on like lycanthropes and maybe some demons. Is there something you fought recently that had a silver weakness that I'm not remembering?
It just has a complex process involving metallurgy and alchemy. It can bond silver to a weapon made of steel so that it bypasses the DR of creatures such as lycanthropes.
So so they might not be damaged by silver.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, because it's a werewolf. Silver weapons hurt werewolves. That's
all right, never mind.
Yeah, so you don't. Yeah, okay. I thought I was missing something.
Mm-hmm.
So as you say that, Nero remembers that angels and archons and the sort of things you've been fighting probably won't be affected by silver weapons, and neither will the Fu Lion.
Well, what are they affected by then?
The Fu Lion, both of them knew that bludgeoning weapons is where it's at. You don't need any special material; you just need to hit them with hard things that crack them. Angels and stuff like that. Do they have DR? I don't even know if they have DR.
Usually probably the evil.
Yeah, probably. Let's see. Let me pick up a coral angel as an example. Yeah, you have to have an evil aligned weapon. So your weapon has to be like actually evil to pierce their goodness. Yeah, so no special materials really come into play as far as you're aware. So Zara's asking around. So burn down the gate. You want to charge through it, or do you want to go up one of the side of the walls with grappling hooks?
I don't want to be up on a wall with a lion. Thank you.
You're trying to draw him down.
She elbows Bob and says, "You don't think you could hold the line against the lion?"
No, I don't.
Vorse pipes in. I think you two could take them together.
I'm not worried about holding the line. I'm worried about being on a rope when the lion finds us.
It's made of rocks. Bob doesn't fight rocks.
Hammers are made for crushing rocks.
Yeah, it's a fire hammer, though. You can catch the fire hammer
Not
if you
fire
keep talking
immune.
like that.
Yeah, so what does Moloch think of such beasts?
I don't know. Do I know this?
I don't know. Make a knowledge check, Bob. Do you have any knowledge skills? Let me see. Knowledge is trained only. You have none of them. So this is just basically what you know off the top of your head as a commoner. Yeah, you know basically nothing about these things. But you're pretty sure Moloch doesn't like celestial good things. So this is not an angel, but it's like an angel lion. And Moloch probably doesn't like them. Because he's a general in Hell's army.
And I mean the hammers or cinder boss has got to be evil aligned, right?
Oh, certainly.
Oh yeah, you're good then. Yeah. Let's do it.
Also,
Alright, fine,
Bob can smite good, and when he does, he ignores damage reduction, whatever it is, because he's smiting it.
All right.
Alright, fine. Bob will go beat up a rock lion.
Well, Zara was proposing, like, do you want to just charge the gate when it burns through, or do you want to try to go over the side while they're distracted, or what's the plan? She has a very tactical mind, and she wants to know what the plan is now.
The name of Bob's game is mainly just running through the door, and, smashing faces, and then picking people up on his hammer while it's on fire.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Voice pipes in. I got your back, Bob. I got some other stuff for you too before you head in there.
Bob is perplexed.
You also still have, they agreed to take a wagon in with corpses.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Can we light it on fire?
We don't want to light it on fire.
You could do a lot of
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, let's just
Also,
get in
some of
there.
the corpses are zombies.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That's
Let's
right.
go in there. All right, so we get in there, and then yeah,
I think we get something that makes smoke or fog so that we don't eat a bunch of arrows on the way in. We make our way to the front door. We break in the front door.
Cinderboss
we all
makes
together.
Cinderboss makes smoke.
Cinderboss doesn't make this enough smoke to cover us.
Yeah, it's like a 5-foot square. It's like a little for a round.
Let's just go get, where's your alchemist friend? He's probably got some.
He certainly has smoke sticks and whatever else you want, yeah. They're not, I don't think they're cheap, but they're not super expensive. Smoke stick.
What about, freebase Missouri? Does that make smoke or what?
No. Smoke sticks, they cost 20 gold, and they make a 10-foot cube of fog when you, snap them and throw them on the ground.
It costs 20 gold?
Yes, and they're consumable. You use them once and they're gone.
So, rip.
An alchemist had to make it. He had, again, so an alchemist only has so many hours in a day. He has to waste his time making smoke sticks instead of, lucrative potions.
Speaking of which, we should go buy potions.
Can't think of anything to bypass the wall.
We just gotta go for it, guys. The longer we
Under,
wait,
over, any ideas?
just through.
I mean, if it was thinner than 10 inches, 10 feet, then yes, but if you want to get technical, you can make the 10 by 10 foot pit as a diamond, and you'd still have some space on the other side. You know, Pythagorean theorem. Technical you want to be.
Is there anything like a flashbang in this universe?
Thunderstone?
Because a thunderstone is mostly sound, not light, but yeah, you can make people go deaf.
That's not useful. I want to stun them.
Stunning people.
We don't- We don't afford that yet, sir.
There are spells and stuff that do that, but I don't think there's an alchemical item that does it.
Do we also have some of the Thrune fighters? Do they have bows and arrows? They could be returning fire while we're charging in.
Sure.
You brought 4 with you. There are 4 that are loyal to Bob that came with you here. And they're
Why
over
don't
on
we-
the far right.
Why don't we get a small contingent in with a cart of people, and then we go and storm the by the gate towers while we have a contingent of militiamen and loyalists standing outside the gates. They should be able to charge in. Like,
You're not going to open the gate with us standing there, are you crazy? If you were an occupying army that just became declared unlawful, would you open the gate for an occupying for the army that wants you out? I wouldn't.
oh no, never mind. All right, that ship's sailed.
Our dead body card is their dead bodies, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
they are
correct.
glorious reclamation soldiers that died, in quotes, honorably on a mission they were ordered to go on.
That was
And,
against the law.
and the Sixth Sword Knight that heard this story agreed that they should be buried in this courtyard among the honored dead of Iowa Dead.
So why don't we just make them open the door with their dead bodies?
They're not
They're
going
going
to open
to.
it when you're there. They want you to leave the wagon in front and then leave.
All right, fine, we do that then. Get the
So
zombies.
let's put one of our like what?
We get zombies in there.
Let's put our own people in there.
Yeah, so you've got like maybe a dozen corpses because you didn't bring everybody back from the thing up there. There was too many. You couldn't put 24 people in your wagon. But you do have more corpses from your other fight. So now let's just say you've got 12 bodies on there. First off, are the zombies in there too?
Yes.
Yeah, 6 of them are zombies. Yeah.
So 6 of the 12 people are zombies. Is anybody else going in the death wagon?
Should we all go
Oh,
in the death wagon? Shit.
All aboard the death wagon.
The Trojan horse this thing.
Just hope the zombies don't bite you while you're laying next to them.
Why don't we put the whole party in there and then just have one of Zara's loyalists bring it up there?
You didn't bring any Zara's loyalists. You left them all at the camp. You only brought Bob loyalists.
God damn it.
You jerk.
And like 3 of them are the Spore Dominator loyalists that have been fixed, and they're slightly better than the other ones. They're better fighters and better at shooting their bows. And Brexter is hurt for some reason. I don't know why he's hurt, but I'm gonna unhurt him.
No, he got messed up by Cassiel.
Oh, Cassiel messed up, right? Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. But he's been showing out in his forge for like 2 days since then. So
Yeah,
he's good. And Nero would have patched them up. Okay, so what's the plan? You're gonna show up with the wagon, and what are you gonna say?
We're gonna buy potions first.
Okay, buy potions. We have 50 minutes left.
All right. How much are potions?
50 gold
bucks
for level
for-
1. What are you buying?
50 gold for level 1, 300 for level 2.
I only have like 118, so I'm gonna get 2 level 1s.
2 like cure light wound potions, you mean?
I guess so. Those are 50 Gs.
Yeah.
All right.
I can buy some for the party too. I still have like 400 gold.
I've got wands. I mean, like, don't blow your wad on stuff. Like, we probably need smoke to cause chaos. We need to get in the door.
Bob will need some smoke.
So if we layer the bodies on top of ourselves, do we think we can get in that way?
Can I ask you a question outside of character?
Who are you asking? Yes, the answer is
I'm
yes.
asking you and Naz, okay. If I like got grease from the alchemist, just grease, could I light the grease on fire and make like a disgusting smoky fire?
You can buy oil. You want it specifically smoky, so you want to have grease?
Yeah, like I want
Yeah,
like
yes. Yeah, you can try to do anything in normal life. So if you could make a grease fire that's smoky, yes, you could do that. You could throw grease on the door before Brexter lights it on fire, and it would make a bunch of smoke.
Why don't we put grease on the cart?
Yeah.
Then we burn our zombies.
Let's put grease on everything.
Fiery zombies wouldn't be the worst thing.
I think they would go down in like a round.
Yeah, they could never pretty quick.
I think they'd be dead immediately.
That depends how bad the fire was.
My memory kind of fails me. Whatever happened to that urn?
They have it in the holdfast.
Okay.
Yeah, at the very least, they had the top. If they have the whole thing now, then they have it. Yeah.
Yeah, they have it.
Alright, well, let's put grease on the door, put grease on the ground when we get in there.
How?
They're
How?
gonna watch you. They're gonna watch you put grease on the door. You can buy like containers of oil. I guess you could buy a container of grease and throw it and hope it spills where you want it. But like, you're not gonna sit there with like a paintbrush putting grease on the front door. They're gonna stop you. They're in the tower with arrow slits, and they're gonna shoot arrows at you and sound the alarm.
All right, so we leave the cart there with the zombies. We all stay outside. When night falls, I shoot a flaming arrow at the door to get it going, and then Brexter burns that shit down. Meanwhile, the zombies are, like, causing chaos inside and distracting. We try to pick off the people on the ramparts.
Have you ever tried to burn a door with fire?
He said it's mostly wood.
Have you ever tried to start wood with a match?
I mean, we just summon an elemental.
Treated wood, I don't let it go up. I'm all for whatever you want to do, but I don't. Do you think that the being in the cart is the smartest thing to do? Do you think that I know that Iwin could get one of us across, but with the hound in her bag still, I mean, we're sort of stuck with that. Don't ask, Sarah. Don't ask.
The hound doesn't have to come. Like, I can...
It should totally come.
Oh, he's coming. All right.
I mean, the other thing we could do is leave the cart with them, and then basically, as soon as they go to, like, they open the door and they start pulling the cart in, out pop the zombies, and the door stays open for us to charge.
Yeah, that'll work for me.
Wait, where is the bunyip?
You left the bunyip at camp. You did not take him back to town.
Left
to
everything
my
in
knowledge.
camp.
Bob asking the important questions.
I remember you specifically asking things like, can he ford the river or whatever? Can he ford the river? And the answer was no, he couldn't get here. So he's back at the camp.
And some of the loyalists are back there keeping him fed, so
Yes.
rest easy.
You've got lots of glorious
We're
reclamation
going back to
corpses.
dead loyalists, is all I heard.
Exactly.
Alright.
Alright, so that's the plan. Your plan is to put the zombie wagon out there, let them take it in, and then I guess you're going to tell the
Let them
zombies.
start to take it in.
Yeah, when the cart is like in the way of the doorway, they pop up so that the cart is blocking the door from being closed.
Smart.
Yeah.
Zombies aren't smart
And we can have
enough
Brexter ready to
understand
shoot
that
fire.
plan. Yeah, so Iwin's going to have to basically command them to act. She can tell them to stay calm, but someone has to tell them to pop up. They're not smart enough to understand. Wait until the door is there because they are dumb as bricks.
Okay.
But Iwin is small and sneaky, so she could be around.
Iwin could be in the cart. Could we all be in the cart? I don't know.
If we could only take 12 people on the cart, I don't think we can fit any more.
Yeah, you want to have some regular corpses on front of the zombies and stuff.
That's true.
Yep.
That's true.
I mean,
let's...
I could very easily be in the cart, and I can teleport myself, 60 feet away once, if I need, if like I don't want to be in the middle of the action.
Sure. You could
No.
teleport yourself under the cart.
That's true.
I could.
And start a fire.
All right. So,
All right, so let's do that.
You're coalescing around a plan, so I'm going to take all of y'all, including all the plotties and everybody. And I'm going to go to the Valor's Fastness meet.
And what are we having Brexter doing? Is he going to fire into the towers to distract some of the the archers, or is he doing something else?
Make an elemental, right? If we can,
Yeah.
if you can.
Yeah. Also, I would pull Bob aside and give him the angel skin, and just tell him, just like put this underneath your armor. Don't let anyone see it.
Bob says okay.
And I tell Bob, I'm like, hey Bob, like, you want to look pick me up?
Bob puts his hands out and says, okay, fine.
All right. Well, why don't you turn your hand over? I'm gonna the only way for this to work is if you have an open cut.
Alright. Bob will turn his not hammer hand over.
Is not.
All right. Boris takes out his dagger and makes a small slit on the back of his hand, not too deep. And then he takes out some Zerk. Should I give him a double? No, it's 50 GPs. I'll give him just one dosage.
All right. right. And you're just letting that happen, so you make a fortitude save, my friend.
Roll less than 18.
He's good at fortitude saves.
Fortitude save. I lost my mic here.
You can voluntarily fail saves if you want. Like, if you want to just basically, like, chill out and let the thing do its thing.
You should totally do that.
Yeah, Bob will chill out and let the thing do its thing.
All right. So Bob gets a +1 to an. Well, I think like Boris is going to do the same thing.
Alright, we're doing all the drugs.
Yeah.
Yes. So you both have a +1 alchemical bonus to initiative. And if addicted, and if you're voluntarily becoming addicted, that's fine. You get a 1d4 alchemical bonus to strength for as long as you are addicted, and you take 1d2 con damage. So you're taking it too, Mr. Vors?
What's up?
You're taking Zerk as well?
Yeah, I'll take some.
Okay, so this is for Bob, this is for you. Bob has -2 Constitution. I will update your sheet, Mr. Bob.
Boris says -1.
Yes, -1 doesn't really affect anything either, because it's got to be a multiple of 2 before it matters. But
All right.
Resync Bob, because he loses a bunch of hit points.
Where do I put the temporary minus?
In the red slot.
Yeah, the reds.
All right.
And you get a 1d4 bonus for strength. So for Bob, it's 1d4, it's 3, and for Vors, it is 2. So go ahead and add your strength.
Nice.
I'm going to add it to the enhancement section, I guess, is where I'm going to add it. Temporary. Even though it would stack, theoretically. None of you have it. So sync Bob again. All right. So you guys are good.
All right.
And
So
I'm
we'll
going to
load
change this.
load the thing with corpses and hay, so that'll go up when Brexter starts it, and then Brexter can start wreaking more havoc.
And then where do we put initiative bonus, or do you just have to manually track that?
Let me see on the sheet if it has one.
It's
Yeah,
there,
there's
it's,
a miscellaneous bonus. If you see initiative, it's above your saves to the right. You can put a miscellaneous bonus there as well. And I'll add it for Bob again, and I'll sync Bob again. Why not?
All right.
And you lost some hit points, Bob, so I'm going to heal you for 0 to lower your hit points.
No.
Right?
All right. And you have to do the same for me.
Okay.
Actually, I didn't lose any.
Oh, then you're fine.
Yeah.
Alright.
All right.
So here's some music. I didn't make a button for it. Here's some music for a cathedral and temple. As you guys approach. So as Nero just said, you have your wagon full of zombies and corpses. You got the corpses around the bodies so that you don't see the zombies. Yeah?
I'm totally wearing the Necropolis gear.
Oh, got it. Yeah, so you got the big sigil on your chest now. And Nero, you said that you have oil-soaked like hay on the bottom of the wagon as well?
yeah, whatever we can do to make it go up, but
Okay.
yeah, it's something that's inconspicuous.
Okay, so as you're coming up with the wagon, the sergeants on top of the towers, they have they're sitting on top of ramparts with arrow slits, and they begin shouting you down a full couple hundred feet as you're coming, and they ask you to identify yourself, even though you're very clearly having the wagon.
You've seen me 3 times in the past 2 days. One of you knows who I am.
And they murmur about themselves, and they do figure out that it is, in fact, Nero. And one of them says that they had heard about this, that they were going to come with a bunch of dead from the ambush.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
We can totally see the whole map.
What's up?
I can totally see the whole map with where all the people are and stuff.
Just the sergeants in the towers?
No, the upper level.
You can see the entire upper level? That's not good.
Yeah.
How come you can see it, no one else can see it?
I zoomed out. I can see stuff too.
You can see where people are up there too?
No, it's just in shadow.
No, I see where people are too.
Who
Oh,
do
I
you
don't
see?
see where people are.
Yeah, I don't see where people are
I
either.
have fog of war. I see where people they're. Oh my
I
god.
see statues.
Well, that's...
Oh, there's. I don't think there's.
Oh, you see statues? Okay.
Yeah, I
that's-
see 4 statues on the top left. But
Yeah, well, that's shitty, but you'll be up there soon enough anyway, so I don't care enough to fix it.
All right. Okay, cool.
No worries.
It's all good. I messed that up
Alright.
probably somewhere along the line.
That's okay.
Oh, that's what happened. When I pasted you on the map, you were outside of the vision blocking layer.
Oh, okay.
I'm best
Anyway.
GM of the year. Anyway, so you've got your wagon, and they know who you are, and they go to summon a six-sword knight, which is the person that has the authority to actually do this, to open the gate. He comes to the gate. He knows it's Nero. It's the same one that you talked to earlier. He talks to the eye slit, and he basically says, like, okay, leave the wagon and get out of here. We'll take it. We'll bury the dead.
Fine. This is a decree from the town council. Declares the glorious reclamation an unlawful occupying army.
The six-sword knight, he looks very confused at what you're doing, and he takes it. Is it sealed shut, or is just signed?
I would imagine it's just signed.
Yeah, so he looks at it, and he like audibly scoffs at this. Like, I'll present this to Oppian immediately.
Fine.
Okay, so he shuts the eye slit and is waiting for you to leave.
Okay. That'll do.
Okay, so you're backing up, and they wait for you to be like a couple hundred feet because they don't want you to sprint at the door. Iwin, so where are you hiding?
Just be underneath a bunch of the bodies, I would suspect.
Okay. So you're just hanging out in a bunch of corpses. And as promised, once they're fairly certain, they wait a couple of minutes to make sure that Nero has left and anybody that was with him has left. They do open the gate. You hear big clanging. Iwin hears these big clanging metal things, and people are cranking something on the levels up there, and the doors swing open.
Okay. Well, she would basically wait for... So, let's say the plan was to have the cart oriented sideways, so that she'd have to, like, feel it turn in order to start moving in.
Mm-hmm.
So they would have left it, like, that way. So she'll basically wait for it to turn and maybe hear, like, one of the rotations of the wheels before she does what she does.
Okay.
Like, she'll wait for some forward motion.
Sure. So they have it, and they do. They do rotate it. So, like you said, it goes a long way, the other way, and they begin moving it forward through the gate.
Yep. So basically, once it gets, once there's like one wheel turn, however far that takes it, she would. How loudly do you have to speak to the zombies for them to do stuff?
They just need to hear you. You just need to command
Okay.
them. It's not magical. There are spells that give you magic power, but these zombies are just dumb as bricks, and they just do what you say to them.
Yeah. So okay. So they're right around her. So she'll probably try to speak so that only the cart hears. Like she'll almost like whisper.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, we'll just like tell them to get out and she'll just say like attack.
Mm-hmm.
And then are these these bushes over here?
I believe they're bushes. Yeah, they're not trees. They're bushes, as far as I'm aware. I could check.
They're bushes. Okay. So she would basically tell them to do that, and then like turn, and you'd almost see her like starting to open up, almost like unzipping something practically.
Mm-hmm.
Do that, and then just kind of like rolls off into it. And ideally, so let's see, how far is this? I think I should have plenty of.
They're mostly
ability to
bushes,
get
and some
there.
of them
Yeah.
are trees, just for the record.
I mean, she's been in here before, so she'll ideally end up putting herself in the middle of a bush,
Sure.
if that works.
That works for me.
Let me do that one. Yeah. So I can go up to 60 feet. So yeah, so just like right in the middle of that bush there.
Okay. So yeah. So you do that. You command them to attack. You shout not shout. I guess you say it a little quietly, but enough that they can hear you to attack. And I guess I have to roll initiative now. So I will take one sergeant out and roll their initiative as just one unit. So he's over there. That sword knight gets an initiative roll. I'll do all your zombies on one turn. And you get an initiative roll. And all the PCs get initiative rolls. Houndy gets a roll. Where's Houndy? Houndy's hanging out with them, or did you leave Houndy away?
It's in your bag, isn't he?
Oh,
Yeah, he would be in my bag.
okay, fair enough. So I'll put him off to the side for now, but he gets his own initiative roll. All right. So you did the thing, and no one knows that you... I guess you guys can see the gate has been opened, and that the thing is in the middle. But nothing has happened yet. No one has done the attack. So let's just say this is a prize round for people that are in the immediate area. And Iwin, you go first. No one suspects anything yet. You did your command, you jumped, and your zombies have not acted yet.
Okay. Well, Iwin would tap herself with a mage armor wand. And then just wait.
Okay, so you're sitting there and you're using a wand. You do have to make noise to use a wand, so people might notice that you're in there. You have to say like a command word. But
Oh, you do? Okay.
you do, yeah.
Then let's just let it play out. And she's not taking any risks. She'll just like get deep and like kind of like get underneath the bush as much as she can so that she's not visible.
Sure. Go ahead and make a stealth check while you're down there. Houndy is still in your bag. Brexter is eager to set stuff on fire. And he's with you guys. I assume you're telling him not to do it just yet because the things haven't left. And the Sixth Sword Knight goes to try to pull the wagon, but as he does, he hears something moving from inside. Like he hears some of the bodies moving, so he freaks out and steps back a moment as he watches the zombies begin to push all the corpses off of them and stand up. And zombies are slow. They're much slower than other undead and things like that, so they only get one action. They're considered staggered all the time. So you watch as they all just kind of push things out of the way and stand up, and that's all they do. They just kind of lurch off the cart in like one step in each direction as they stand up. And they're slowly moving forward. And the cart is still blocking the door, even though it's not on the map. So now it's top of the order, and you guys are about 200 feet away. So you have to book it, basically. And Zara is slow, so she's 20 feet, so running she can do 60 feet in her armor. So it's going to take her 3 rounds to get to the door. So I'm just going to put a little note on Zara. Say, round 3, she gets to the door. And I'll move her up here temporarily, but she's not there for 3 rounds. Bob, the Zoob, you're the same speed as her.
What about Vorse?
Yes.
I thought Vorse received initiative.
Yeah, your number's... Oh, I went through the whole list in the first round. And it was a surprise round, so you don't get to go yet.
Oh, okay.
But Mr. Bob, so if you're just running in, you're doing anything special? Do you have any special moves for running?
Not particularly.
Okay, so on the beginning of round 5, both you and Zara will be there.
Even if they run?
They can move triple their speed on a run in heavy armor.
Okay.
Nero. You're muted.
You're on mute, bud.
Fuck you, bitches. He'll just book it toward the door.
Okay. You are faster. You are 30 feet, so you can do the whole thing in, instead of 3 rounds, you can do it in 2. Yeah, because you can move quadruple your speed. Yeah, so you'll be there on round 4.
It's fine.
Yep. Put you up there on your weight. The Glorious Reclamation Sergeant. So all of the people in the towers now see that these zombies are coming out of the cart, and instinctively they grow to grab their bows. And let's see if they see you guys coming. Nope, they are focused primarily on the zombies for right now. So I'm just going to roll a bunch of these. Flip, flap, flip, flap, flip, flap. And the zombies have an AC of 12, but they have DR5 unless you're using slashing weapons. So let's see. It's 1 hit for 1, and then a bunch of hits for nothing. And 1 hit, 2 hits for 1. And a third. Oh, that last one's a threat. So let me try that again.
Should have left him in armor.
And that is a hit. So it's a crit for. Okay, so most of them got 1. So I'll just pick 3 random ones and take 1 off of it. 2 random ones, take 1 off of it. And 1 guy hits extremely well and only still does 2 damage with it. So it's a crit. Oh, you can't crit undead, can you?
You can.
Oh, you can now? They changed that? Okay. And
Correct,
he only does 2 with it. So they're peppering them with arrows, and you see them just get stuck in these big, meaty undead things, and the undead things don't seem to care at all. Iwin, you've watched your little undead army stand up and rise.
I'm going to delay.
Alright. Houndy's in your bag still. Brexter is looking around like, is it time? Is it time? Do I do it? And he's just going to start bounding over towards everybody else. His speed is 30, so he'll be with Nero. And he's no longer deaf. That was when he was fighting the angel. Alright. The Sixth Sword Knight goes, and he sees a bunch of zombies, and he's not an idiot about zombies, I'm pretty sure. He knows what zombies are all about, because he's a cleric of Iomedae. So he is going to channel against them. And he has some what, special attacks? Channel positive energy. So they make will saves. So I'm going to make a bunch of will saves for these guys. They don't have any feats that bolster this, so a 14 will tie it and make it. And they take half if they made it. So 1 made it, 2 made it, the other 2 failed. So numbers 4 and 6 are going to take half damage. That's 4, where's 6? 4 and 6 are going to take 4 damage. And the other ones are all going to take 9 damage. So you watch as, you guys are running up, and you see that this cleric of Iomedae, the Sixth Sword Knight who answered the door, he rips out from his belt, he has like a holy symbol of Iomedae, which is like the sword with the wreath of halo, basically, like a big sun behind it. And he holds it up, and he just like explodes in light for a moment, and you watch as the zombies all kind of recoil, and some of them are hurt worse than others by this blast of holy energy from the Sixth Sword Knight. And he 5 steps back, but otherwise holds his ground. And then Vors, you go. Are you on Skarta?
I am on Skarta.
Well, you can move very fast. You can go 200 feet. You can clear the whole thing. You can show up now if you like.
I move up, so I'm like just within like bow range.
Okay. You can shoot pretty far too. I think you can probably shoot like 100 feet, right? So
110.
110. Ooh la la.
Yeah. All right. So I take out a human bane arrow and a regular arrow for my many shot, and I attack the Sixth Sword Knight.
Okay, so you're shooting, through a bunch of stuff, and you said it's a human bane arrow.
Yeah. So +2 to hit.
Yes.
I also have. Yep.
That is a hit, and that second one, are they both human bane arrows?
Or is that many shot? Wait,
yeah, that's just your iterative attacks. You're a 6th level person now, so you get 2 attacks just normal.
So what he was saying is that we should run the first 2 as just the damage for the many shot. The first one is the hit, and then run the second iterative attack on the second bunch of attacks. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, but so that -2 on all these though, because doesn't have rapid shots penalty in there.
Yeah. So I mean, what I roll is what I roll, because I used the human bane arrow for.
Fair enough. Yeah. So that offsets it. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So then, okay. So this is just your first arrow, your many shot arrow, and you hit with a 22 is a hit, and you dealt that's 26 damage plus the bane. So roll the bane,
which is 2d6.
Correct.
It hits 2 harder because it's bane.
Correct. So yeah, go roll your 2d6, and then you'll add an.
How do I roll 2d6? Do I need to type roll 2d6?
You can do that. That works. So it's 28, and then you did another 9. So you shot him, and the first arrow that hits him is enough to knock him, so he's bleeding to death on the ground. Yeah. So you shot him, and you hit him in the chest, not like a headshot or anything like that, but you hit him in the chest, and you watch as this not unholy, but this magical energy kind of just surges from it. And you watch as he takes the shot and is standing there for a moment, and as the energy racks him, he falls to the ground bleeding to death. And I'll put a little blood thing on it.
Shit.
Now I have 11 human bane arrows left.
Yep. So you still have your second arrow.
I'm going to shoot Glorious Reclamation Sergeant 7.
All right. He's protected by the ramparts, so he gets a +2 to his armor class, and both of these fire. So the first one you have there is your regular the rapid shot, and the second one there is your regular iterative attack. And are you using any special arrows here again?
No.
No. Okay, regular arrows. So -2 on both of these from rapid shot being employed. So a 22 is a hit, even with the cover he has, and a 20 is also a hit, just barely. So you hit him for 16. He's still standing, so you hit him for 16 again. And he is bleeding to death. All right, and that was you. So you rode up on Skarta. You're much faster than everybody else because you've got a horse. And that's it. The medium zombies go. And they basically, even though they only get one action, they can lurch forward and slam in the same round. It's kind of like a charge. So there's only one thing on the ground, and they're gonna, it's unconscious, it's bleeding to death. So I guess they're just gonna swarm that right now. So they don't know that it's not dead yet. It's still coughing. So they're all just gonna slowly saunter over and slam on the thing. So they just beat the crap and they paste the thing. The cleric that hurt them so bad is now turned to paste. And as they do that, there's some more Reclamation Sergeants on the ground up north near the door. And they get to watch the 6 Sword Knight just get beaten to paste by these zombies. Seeing this going down, the Fu Lion, who was over here, doesn't like that happened at all. And he is going to try to jump down the 20 feet without harming himself, using acrobatics. And he's decent at that, I hope.
Yeah, he'll take barely any.
Yeah, he's only going to take 1d6 damage.
Made a rock.
And he has DR. Yeah, so he absorbs it. And he is basically going to try to pounce at these things. Assuming he's fast enough. Yes. He's going to pounce at Zombie 4. So he's running. He jumps down on the ground with a big thud. He runs past Iwan, who he hasn't seen. Did you make a stealth check? Iwan, make a stealth check.
I did.
What was it?
It wasn't well.
Okay, 14. So he does see you as he's running down. Even though you have cover, he is good enough to see you. And is he smart enough? I'm going to roll d20, see if he's smart enough. Yeah, he's smart enough. He sees this little gnome sitting there in the bushes, and he's smart enough to know something's up. So he's going to try to pounce on you, Iwan. And he gets pounced, so he gets all of his attacks on a charge. So that is a hit. And let's see what your AC. 13. Did you cast Mage Armor or anything?
No, because I didn't want to get detected.
Got it. You could have cast it before you came in, though, last hours. If you want to have it up, it's fine. Yeah, they're all going to hit anyway.
Yeah.
So, but you can go ahead and put it on, though. You can have it for the rest of the fight. So he hits you for 8, 8, and 7. So that's 16, 23 damage. So this one, he gores the little gnome hiding out in the bush. And does he have grab? Is that a thing that happens, Mr. Fu Lion?
Lion on his bite.
On his bite, he gets grab, yeah. Okay, so he tries to grab you with his mouth. And he succeeds in grabbing you, so you are both grappled. You are in the lion's mouth. And rake happens when you start grappled, not when he grapples you, right?
I believe so, but I don't know.
Well, you better hope so.
Because it'll kill.
A creature plus gains under certain conditions, typically when it grapples its foe. A monster who with the rake ability gains 2 free claws attacks only against a grappled foe. I'm going to assume, yes, it can't be getting a grapple and rake in the same turn. Okay, good. So you are in the lion's mouth, and based on what you know about lions, he can claw the shit out of you while you're in his mouth. Zara goes, and she is not here until another couple turns. Bob, the Zoob, you are also not here yet. You're running as fast as you can, Bob. Nero, you arrive next turn.
I should arrive this turn, but I can't do anything yet.
Yeah, round 4 is when you can act, is what I have written down. Yeah, correct.
Round 4?
Well, this is round 3, so you'll arrive next turn.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
So the sergeants all go, and they're going to continue shooting at this thing, the zombies, all random zombies. Miss and a bunch of hits, but absorbed. 1 hit for 1, so I'll pick a random one. And another hit for... That one's for 3. All right. And that one. So they're just peppering them with arrows. Again, not really noticing that they're not very effective against it. Iwan, what are you going to do?
So I think Iwan's going to teleport the hell out of there.
Does that have any... Is grappling going to mess with that at all?
I don't know. It's supernatural.
Supernatural. That's... Yeah, let me see. It doesn't say anything like a spell or anything like that. What's it called? What's the actual...
Here, I'll just cast it.
Okay.
Are magical but not spell-like. They're not subject to spell resistance, do not function areas. Cannot be dispelled. Does not provoke an attack of opportunity.
I'm gonna go with you can just do it then, because normally like if it's like a spell like thing, you have to make a concentration check because the lion's grappling your head and all. But yeah, we'll say that you can teleport out.
Basically, the way I'll play it off is because the lion ideally wants to like get her down his mouth, she'll just oblige.
Just cut reality in his mouth.
In his mouth, and take the plunge in.
All right.
And
Sure.
I guess come out 60 feet as far the fuck as possible.
Sure. Move as you
Say
will.
somewhere
Where
over here.
locations you can see.
Well, the gate is still open, or you can try to go to another bush and hide better, or you can go to the top of one of the walls. You got a lot of options. While she's Brexter.
Well, does he? Do I mean, if I just go to another bush, do I think he saw me, or do I think that he, like, given what I know about food lions, do I think that he sensed me via sight or via like smell or sound or something like that?
You think he probably saw you through smell or sight, one of the two. You can't be certain based on what you know about food lions.
Yeah, so I guess maybe she'll just go like kind of to the bottom of the tower over here, hoping that they won't be able to see straight down.
Okay. Go ahead and move as you wish. Brexter continues running. He's on the same speed as Nero. The Thrune loyalists, they're moving up, and they are as fast as Nero is. So they will get there, and they will start shooting arrows when Nero acts as well. Vors, you can do things still.
I'm just going to attack. That will clear out that tower. So, Sergeant 5. Ugh.
That is a miss, so that's your many shot. So go ahead and roll your other arrows.
Oh my god.
Those are all misses. Yes. So you bury some arrows into the stone facade around the arrow slits.
Yeah.
And now it's become very obvious that you're around. One of them's bleeding to death, and you're shooting a bunch of arrows.
So I bring Scarta back out of.
You hang back a little bit. How far away do you want to be from the tower?
I mean, I was shooting at like regular arrow range, so at 110. So I'd step back to like 115.
Yeah, just a little out of range. Okay, sure, fair enough.
Yeah.
Also, when the sergeants went, I forgot. The two that are in the north, they're going to start coming down. They're running as fast as they can, which is 30 feet. So they're going to double move and kind of get ready to defend themselves against the zombies as they come in. Now the zombies go, and they are going to attack those guys. So yeah, they are just going to go like 3 and 3, basically, making a wall of flesh. These 3 attack the right guy, and his AC is an 18, so that is a miss, and a hit for 9. Zombies are strong, yeah. And these 3 are going to hit the left guy, and that is a miss, hit, miss. So another for 7. So you watch as these guys, they're kind of just lumbering for it, and they were literally pounding on the guy that was unconscious in front of them, turning him into bloody paste. And as these guys walk up and they have their swords drawn, this wall of flesh kind of walks up, lumbers forward, and just like slams their entire body into them. And a couple of them manage to connect. And we're back to the top. Any questions? We'll tie the room.
Tie baby.
Alright.
Tie baby.
Tie baby, want to go back out. Alright. 14 minutes. Alright, so the Fu Lion goes, and he sees a line of undead. So he is going to go do that. He is going to deal with those things. If you pounce, you can only attack one target, right? You can't pounce and attack multiple targets, I'm presuming?
I don't know.
Well, yeah. So he's just going to go up and bite one of them. That's all I can really
I think he
do.
has reach anyway, but...
Yeah. He doesn't matter, though. He's fine. So he's just going to bite the first one. And he manages to miss a zombie. Because he wasn't charging. He's moving up. He's basically trying to move around and flank with his friend over here, and he managed to miss a zombie. With the flank he'd get it, but he chose the wrong one. So he's done. And then some stuff happens, and Zara goes. And Zara doesn't get there until next round. Zara and Bob, next round you get to act. Nero, you get to act.
Nero cast Sanctuary and move on in and tell Brexter,
get it lit up. Get an elemental on the ground with us.
All right. Yeah, so you run past, and you can hear people in the tower. They're shouting now that we're under attack. This is really happening, and people are in trouble. All right, so you did that, and Brexter is not going yet. So now the sergeants go. Let's see. So there's a bunch in the tower, including ones up in the other towers that weren't able to shoot stuff yet. So I'm going to shoot a bunch of zombies from the left. That's a hit, a miss, a hit, and a miss. Okay, so absorbed, 1 damage. And then the guys on the right are going to shoot at the closest right zombies first. So that's a hit for absorbed, a miss, absorbed. Yeah, so they're all just peppering arrows, and you see a bunch of them hitting and sticking out of the zombies, but the zombies do not care. They're just big piles of meat. So those were those ones. Then these ones in front. This guy is going to attack zombie 7. And with a flank, that's a hit, barely, for 11. And that's slashing, so it actually does full damage to a zombie. And that one manages to die. So undead, they don't go unconscious. They just collapse into inertness when you take them to 0 hit points. The guy on the right is going to 5-foot step over and try to hit zombie 1. And that is a miss on a zombie without any benefits. Yeah. So he swings at it, and the zombie narrowly dodges away. And then there's all the guys in the tower, and they now see Nero coming inside, and they see a bunch of other people running in the distance. So these two are going to shoot at Zara. Miss. These two are going to shoot at Bob. Miss, right? Yep. These two are going to shoot... This one's going to shoot at Nero, who ran in, and that's a miss. And these two are going to shoot at Vors with a -2 because of the range penalty.
Oh.
Of course, right? Yeah, so -2, so that's a 23 and a 21. Those are both hits for 1 and 4, though, so it's only 5 damage. They're not master marksman like you are. Yeah, so the long-range shots make it. Everybody else missed horribly, but the long-range shots made it. I win!
Okay, so Iwan's going to take a step over here. In order to do the create pit spell, do I have to actually see the surface that I'm creating a pit on?
Pretty sure, yeah, you have to see. Yes, you do.
Can I see the bottom of this tower from where I am standing, or is it like a pillar that goes up?
It's a cylinder that goes into the earth. You can't see like under the tower if that's what you're asking.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Then she'll come over here and get her Twilight Barrier up. So that's basically some amount, 8 temporary hit points for 6 minutes, and if it gets broken, that does 8 damage to whoever breaks it.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, that's her turn. Houndy is still in your bag. Brexter, he arrives with Nero, and what did you want to set on fire? You said to summon a fire elemental?
Yes. Well, set the wagon on fire since it's ready to go, and get a fire elemental up.
All right. I think he can only do one of those at a time, I'm pretty sure.
Sure.
But he is going to set the wagon on fire, so he's just going to run by it. And you watch, he's holding this little like spear of fire, but he actually just opens his hand and shoots a ball of fire, and it catches the wagon. There's hay that's been soaked in grease and oil and stuff like that. So it begins producing a thick smoke and a fire right in the doorway. And he is going to bound right behind Nero, and he walks into the bushes over here, which just catch on fire by being next to him. So not like a raging inferno is going to hurt Nero, but just like a little bit, like you see it beginning to go up and crackling, because it's wet foliage. Thrune loyalists are faster, so they actually run ahead of Bob El-Zub, and they are going to take shots at some of these people in the tower. So against number 4, that is a hit and a miss because of the arrow slit. So 6 damage. And these two are going to go the other way. They're going to go against number 8. Oh, that one is a javelin. Ha! So no. We're back to Vors.
Alright, so I'm like 115 feet from the towers, so I'm just going to run up like kind of there, or then fire it. Glorious Reclamation Sergeant 22.
All right, number 22. Which one is that? That's the guy over there. Okay, they killed the zombie.
Mhm.
Yeah, so this is your... And you're using regular arrows, yes?
Yeah,
Okay,
so that's a 19.
a 19 is a hit. He's in combat. You have a feat for that, yeah?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So then you do hit for 18 damage. Pow, and he is bleeding to death on the ground.
All right, then I shoot Glorious Reclamation Sergeant 21.
Yep. And you have a minus...
15.
Yeah, minus 2. So a 15 and a 7 are both misses. So arrows whiz by his head as the zombies... One of them gets caught in one of the zombies' backs. As you miss the second guy. And you're done. And then the zombie wall goes. Oops. So the zombie wall, there's still this guy over here. So they're going to go around him like that. So these three will try to pound him. And that is a hit, miss, miss. So that's 6 hits. He's still standing. Let's see how smart this zombie feels right now. Pretty smart. He's actually going to walk over to the one that's awake and try to slam him. Oh, that's a good hit. That's a threat. Not confirmed, but he hits for 6. And this zombie is fighting the lion, and he's going to try his best, but that's a miss. All right, the lion goes, and seeing another one of his friends die, he's not happy. But he's going to, he's just going to try to bite this guy first. An 18 for 10. And bite is all of them, or claws all of them? Yeah, so,
All of them.
So it does straight damage. He dies. And then he can take a 5-foot step, and he will. And he has reach, so he can continue his assault. So he'll take the claws. He'll claw the southern one here. So a 9 misses and a 9 misses. So he claws at zombie 2, goes, he bites one, rips its head off, moves over to the other one, tries to claw it twice, and misses. Alright. Then Zara goes. And Zara arrives. This is the round where you guys arrive. So Zara runs on the scene, and she has 20 feet of movement. She's ignoring all the people in the towers. She heard what Nero said, that their job is to basically get in and get as far in as they can. So she is going to just triple move so she can get... Oh no, there's a fucking thing there. She's gonna look at Bob and say, "The lion?"
Bob agrees.
Right, then she charges the lion. And you can see she's smirking on her face that this is a fun thing to do for her. And what does she know about food lions? No, they're not lawful. Okay, never mind. So she runs in and she swings at it. She only gets the first with a +2. That is a hit for 10 damage, but as we discussed, they're bludgeoning. They have DR bludgeoning, so he only takes 5 of it. So she walks up and cuts it, and you watch as like she skims off a bunch of stony flesh off the top, and does find that there is like living material underneath it. I guess the Fu Lion gets an attack of opportunity against her with one of his claws.
Does he have reach because he's long?
I think so. Yeah, reach 10 feet.
I don't know.
I don't know why, but he has to reach 10 feet. So he's gonna get a claw as she comes in. A 26 does hit for 10.
Oof.
All right, Bob, the Zoob, are you actually charging it?
Yeah, why not?
All right. Are you doing anything else? Any of your cool anti-paladin abilities? Do you remember what they are?
Is it good?
Yes, you know it's good.
Yeah, can I smite the hell out of this thing?
You can. You get a total of 2 smites per day, just so you're aware.
Alright, I'm not gonna smite the hell out of this thing.
All right. All right, so he's going to walk up and smack it. So go ahead and do that, and mash your weapon 1 button. Are you charging? So you get a +2 to hit?
Yeah.
All right. Gotta stop there.
Jesus.
Yeah, so you rolled a 10, but you still got a 23. So you managed to hit for 22 damage. And you have a hammer, so you crack through it. So you catch it in the shoulder. It's lion shoulder. And
Did you add my Zerk bonus there?
Yeah, it's on your sheet. You're synced up to it, yeah. So you catch it on its like leonine shoulder, and you watch as your hammer just crumbles into it, and you watch as it falls down, and it's missing a big chunk of stone from its side.
Is it immune to fire?
No. It's immune to poison, disease, paralysis, and sleep.
Do that fire thing, dude. Well,
That's
that's
1d4.
6.
1d6. And what's the smoke? It's not only on crits. It's on all hits you can make smoke happen?
I don't remember. I think so,
Okay,
but it's
I'll
been
look
too
it
long.
up. So it takes 2 fire damage. I'll look up the smoke thing. I'm pretty sure you can't nauseate it though. Okay, so you ran up and
Whenever,
yeah.
Yeah, whenever the wielder of Cinderboss successfully strikes a creature with the hammer, he can create a cloud of ash around the target as an immediate action. The ash shares the target's space and persists for 1 round before dissipating. The ash does not obscure sight, but the target and any creatures that enter the cloud must succeed at a DC 14 Fortitude save or take a -2 to penalty on attack rolls for 1 round as they cough and choke in the fiery ash.
So he is nauseated by it.
Yeah, so holding one's breath provides no benefit, but creatures that don't breathe or that have any kind of fire immunity or resistance are immune to the cloud's effects.
He is not immune and does breathe. Yes, Tom, you want to come in again? Let me open your dog. All right, we can finish this fight. So yeah, so that is the Fu Lion is getting beat the crap on, and that's Nero. It's your turn next.
Nero is going to command the lion to lie down and move.
All right, does that work? Command. Yeah, 1 living creature. It's alive. All right. Okay, so it makes a will save against your command and succeeds, I believe.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Okay. Yeah. So you command it to lie down, and it looks back at you. I don't think they talk. Do they talk languages? Oh, they do. He looks back at you and says in Celestial, "No."
You'll lie down soon enough.
So you continue to walk away. All the sergeants go. So there's this one that's being swamped by zombies, so he's going to swing at the weakest one. And that's a hit for a 12, and he does crush that one. And he's going to 5-foot step again away almost into the bush as these zombies keep coming. And then all these other ones go. So these ones over here are going to try to shoot at Zara, all 4 of them. They're coordinating their attack, and she has a 25 armor class, so LOL to you guys. These ones over here, 2 of them are going to shoot at zombies. Hit, and the bottom one's absorbed. This one is for 3. And these 2 are going to try to make a stealth check, Nero, to see how well in the bush you are.
Oh, he's not hiding. That's fine.
Okay. So then they're both going to try to shoot at you, Mr. Nero.
I have Sanctuary up.
Oh, so they make a will save. So they missed anyway, but just for giggles. They try to go to shoot at you, and as they do, they are compelled to not shoot at you. They both make their saves, though, so they decide they can shoot at you. And they do, and they miss. And then let's see, now we're in the front yard over here. And they see there's a bunch of loyalists shooting at them with arrows. There's a guy that's driving through on a horse, and there's a bunch of people engaging with the Fu Lion. So, number 2 is going to shoot at Bob. That is a hit for 7. Bob's back. This guy is going to shoot at Vors, and that is a miss on Vors. These 2 are going to shoot at Spore Dominated Loyalist 2. So that is a hit and a hit for 10 damage. And this guy over here is going to shoot at... One is Zara, 2 is Bob. Chooses Zara. Miss. And these 2 are going to shoot at Loyalists. That is a miss and a threat. A not confirmed crit, but just barely. Alright, so there you go. And they're all done. I win.
2 quick questions. So these towers, where's the door to get in, and is it closed or open?
It is closed, and it's on the opposite side of the gate. I'll just draw them real quick, I guess. This one here, one here, one here, one here. I should have used the square tool. All right.
Okay.
And also, there's like a fire here.
In what?
There's a fire. Fires are starting.
So. Yeah. Well, Iwan's first gonna do a little teleportation over to here, like basically wherever the door is,
Bamf.
and try to open it.
Okay. It's a move
Is it
action
locked,
to open
or-
a door.
That's fine.
It is locked, yes.
Okay. Then she's gonna turn and fire some missiles at the food lion.
Okay. He can't do shit to missiles.
Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah, he takes full damage, so that is a total of 8 damage of force. Yep. Boom, boom, boom. And yeah, he takes it full. No DR, no nothing. And Houndy is still in your pocket. And Brexter. Brexter is he's gonna move again through the thing, spreading his fire, and then he's gonna do that thing where he tries to summon a fire elemental out of the thing. So he needs to make a wisdom check. I didn't do this properly the first couple times, but he rolled a 19. There you go. Yeah. So he was trying to get a. I guess he'll start small. So he was gonna get a small one because he couldn't. He would have failed anyway. So he's gonna get a small fire elemental. I'll add that in a second. But he summoned one, and the fire spreads. The Thrune loyalists go, and they're all going to shoot at different people in the tower still. Miss, miss, miss. The javelin, we'll supposed to pretend it's a bow, is a hit for 3. So they're staying outside. They're kind of moving closer to the door, but they're staying outside to draw their attention out. And then Vors gets to go while I look for my elemental.
I go like this way, so I can get a better angle on people up in the tower, and yeah, I'll shoot like Sergeant 5. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's a miss. Which one is Sergeant 5 though? Yeah, okay, I see it. Okay, so yeah, that is a miss with your many shot arrow, and those are also both misses.
What the fuck?
So you're shooting up, and your arrows are exploding on the ramparts as they're ducking behind them and taking shots at you. The zombies go. They're still an alive thing here. They're not going to attack the lion. They're just going to move forward and kind of slam into this guy. Miss, hit. That's a big hit though for 10. And the zombie almost falls on top of this guy as he begins to fall down, bleeding to death. That's all the zombies. Only 3 left now. And we're back to the Foo Lion at the top. Get another round of this in at least. So he is going to. There's Zara and there's Bob, and Bob hurt him the most, so he's going to attack Bob. But he has. What's the penalty to his attacks?
-2.
-2.
All hits.
Those are all hits. Yeah. Hooray him. All right. So 11, 12, and 12 is 24, 35 damage, Bob.
Oh my god.
And he's trying to grapple you with his mouth, and he fails to grapple you. So he bites you with his, like, around your torso, and you feel him trying to get around and close his mouth around it, but you're too big. You're too big and too metal. And he fails to bite you, but he does hurt you really bad. And he's done. And you watch as his arm, like, the area where you hit him begins to get, like, even more solidly stone and kind of spreads throughout his whole body. And Zara goes, and Zara is going to 5-foot step around, as if that really helps. And she's going to take both of her attacks. No, she wants to stand next to Bob, actually. And she should have helped you last round, too, actually. That is a miss and a miss. Yeah, even if she has that shield ability, even if she used it, they still would have hit. The bite, maybe not, but anyway. Is the penalty to damage, too, or just a hit and stuff?
I think it's just a hit. I don't know. I'll look.
Alright, and now your smoke thing goes away. Bob, it's your turn. Your smoke dissipates after the 1 round. You only get the first one. Unless you're hero pointing.
That's still great.
Alright, fine, yeah, I'll take the first one, that's fine.
Yeah, so both of those hit for 36 damage, and it was even more resistant to blows, but it didn't matter. You just completely obliterated it. And you watch as it collapses into a pile of rocky parts, and then there's flesh on the inside. So it was bound here, though. It wasn't just, like, summoned. And you can 5-foot step, if you like.
Does that mean Iwan can make a better Houndy?
If she has enough hit dice, presumably. I'm not sure if you can make him out of outsiders. I'll have to look that up, actually.
I don't think you can.
Okay.
Nero, what are you doing?
Nero will
Okay, man.
move to heal Bob and then yell to now get in to the north, run. We'll do a cure mod on him.
I'm going to move Brexter's fire elemental too. So, what would he hit? Nothing really. There's nothing really around. So he's just going to move. How fast is he? 50. So yeah, he's just going to move through the trees and kind of just spread fires, as they like to do. So this is on fire now, and then there's a big streak of fire like this. Alright.
Give me 15 hit points, hey.
I'll do it. Yeah, okay, fine.
Relax, cheese.
Alright, the sergeants all go. And so there's a bunch over here, and they're all going to fire at Zara. And that 25 is a hit for 5. Yeah, so she takes 5 damage. And you watch as she raises her shield, so she blocks 3 of them, but one of them gets through and catches her in the shoulder. And then the ones on the right over there.
I see Nicole.
What?
Oh shit.
Oh, I'm almost done. Last round, promise. Hi, Nicole. Hi.
Oh.
Pulled her away. Alright. Shooting at zombies. That's a hit absorbed. That's a hit absorbed. Also shooting at zombies. Absorbed. Missed.
Oh my god, she's so cute.
He's adorable. Iwan. I think that... Well, there's some more firing, but you can go ahead while I'm doing it.
So, when Nero was shouting to like move forward, was that intended for the whole group?
Yeah.
Like get in. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, she'll start moving up as far as she can with the group. You can double move, right? If you're running or what?
If you do nothing else but run, you can move 4 times your speed.
Unless you're in heavy armor, but yeah, you can do 4.
Okay. So I guess she'll get
Little legs.
over there. Yeah. So she'll skitter over there.
Make a perception check, Ms. Iwan.
Okay.
And got an 18. Let's see what this got. I'll just roll publicly because I love doing that. Yeah, so you do see at the edge over here near the fountain, you see that incorporeal dog that saw you before and barked at you. Brexter is gonna get to... Yes, sir?
Do I know anything about it?
Make another knowledge check. I don't remember what you knew last time, but I didn't think it was much. You know that it is definitely an incorporeal dog. It's like a ghost-like. It's translucent, things like that. You assume that it has damage reduction, sort of like an angel that would require like an evil weapon to hit. And I think Nero knows a bunch more about it. You don't know a whole lot. But last time it encountered you, it seemed to just instinctively know that you were evil and was barking at you, and that it howled really piercingly last time you encountered it.
Okay.
So Brexter goes, and he is going to throw fire at Glorious Reclamation Sergeant 5. And he does 4-2 fire damage. And he's going to continue walking as Nero told him, and he's just going to run as fast as he can. So he's going to run past the devils, past the zombies. And he's going to get up to there. He's going to hang out in that forest over there and make a little fire there too, because he likes fire. The Thrune Loyalists go. They're getting peppered with arrows. One of them actually falls unconscious, the weakest of the bunch. The other 3 continue fighting, and they move closer and closer to the wall. Miss, hit for 5. Alright, Vors.
I guess I'll just... Do I see the dog?
You can make a perception check. It wasn't very stealthy. It is translucent, but go ahead and make a perception check. That's not good enough because it's behind a thing and translucent. So you don't know there's a dog yet.
That's terrible. Alright, so I guess I'll just move, like... What's the distance? 80? So I can make it in there whenever I want to.
The doors are closed, but yes.
Right, I'll just kind of move in the middle.
You're still on your horse, though.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then fire back at Reclamation Sergeant 5.
Uh-huh. And you have mounted archery or whatever? What do you have?
What's that?
Do you have any mounted feats? Mounted archery feats?
No, I don't.
Okay. Okay, go ahead. Take your shots if you're going to take them. I forget exactly how this works. Oh yeah, as long as you're not double moving with your mounts, you have no penalties at all. Okay, you're
Right.
fine. All right. So who are you shooting at?
Sergeant number 5.
Number 5. That is a miss.
Mm.
Go ahead and take your other shot, though. Oh, that's a threat. So that one's a hit. The second one's a miss, but go ahead and roll it again.
Go.
That is not a confirmed crit.
10's pretty good though.
Yeah. So 10 damage. Pow, pow. All right. Medium zombie 5. So all the medium zombies go. They're not smart. Iwan, do you want to say anything as you run past them? Because they're not smart enough to listen to Nero.
Yeah, so basically, as she was running past them, she would say, like, either follow or come or whatever she thinks
Sure.
is going to make them
All right. So they're gonna go.
move in the same direction as her.
They're gonna come. They're not smart enough to attack the dog, but they're just gonna follow Iwan. And we're gonna stop here because I have to eat dinner. But the incorporeal dog is going to howl very loudly, and we will pick up with that next session. And there you go. So who has morals? Who has an MVP?
Moral Nas is a serial killer. I want a weapony hammer. How many times do I have to say "calm down, bitch"? How many times do I have to say "calm down, bitch"? Is the one.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it seems fitting.
I can do that, yeah. Alright, and nominations for MVP?
Roberto did make short work of that dog, but Boris was acing everything as well.
I missed on everything pretty much except for that one.
Well, you lit up the first guy.
Your MVP right here, man.
The sport knight.
Booyah!
Little bean.
Oh my God. How much she weigh?
Maybe playing D&D.
We don't know how much she weighs, but she's going
There's
to
a baby playing D&D. Oh, she's so cute.
Look this way.
Teeny tiny.
Ooh.
Oh, she's
She'll
adorable.
be playing in no time.
Oh my God.
So MVP, is it Bob or Vors? Who's voting? See you in a little minute. Doing reps with the baby. Gotta do baby exercises.
Aw.
Oh yeah, do a /GM vote for Bob or Vors. Do either of you need a hero point? You both full?
Yeah, I'm full.
I think everybody was full. And Nero was the only person who
I
used
have 2 out of 3. I'll take it.
Okay, fine. Everybody vote Bob then, I guess. Alright, MVP is Bob. Don't forget you have hero points, by the way. Like, when you rolled to an almost crit that guy, you could have put a +8 on it on the confirm roll to guarantee to crit him, if you care.
Alright, it's good to know. I don't really care about a sergeant, but
Fair enough. Alright. I'm going to cut the recording here, and I'm going to go before I get in trouble with my wife.